Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So, this video is going to be about black on black crime changes the whole aspect of racism. And do you take seriously racism? How seriously do you take racism with black on black crime going on? Now, this is important because even with the gang stalkers and the Freemasons, they also looking to see if we racist. They also looking to see if you're a racist too. They might be looking to see if you're a pedophile, if you're a racist, anything basically. And I noticed one of the things they try to look for is racism, and so we're gonna address it from a social aspect, from a collective aspect. You could say a social aspect too, but a collective aspect is what we're gonna look at it from. Because see, people been biased about black on black violence this whole time. That's 7 Hour. They've been biased. So you really haven't had nobody approach it with the right energy because of being biased. Nobody has approached it with the right energy, the right 100% energy. Everybody's energy been about 80, 70, 60, 40. Nobody has addressed black on black violence with 100% energy like it should be. Show me one person that did it. Because the main people that's going to be talking about it is going to be black people. And what you think they're going to do? They're going to be biased about it. White people ain't going to really talk about it. My point is this. You can't talk about racism until you get rid of black on black violence as a whole culture and aspect, and in the music. As long as you talk about killing black people in the music, as long as you celebrate that in the movies, the music, you can't talk about racism with a straight face. The only reason it's gotten this far is because the articulation of it, of black on black violence, has been biased. So that's the Jedi mind trick right there, is that biased people been talking about it, so you kind of just let it go. You kind of settled it within yourself based on how they looked at it. Instead of looking at it like instead of hearing somebody's approach that's 100% energy against it, because most people ain't got 100% energy against it, where you can't contradict yourself that sharply. That's the term I made up. You can't contradict yourself that sharply. So if you're killing each other, how serious can we take racism? If you're harming each other, how seriously do I supposed to take racism? I'm asking you. How seriously I supposed to take it? How seriously I supposed to take racism and you killing each other? More than white people. Let's understand this. Who's killing black people today? Today now. We ain't talking about history. We ain't talking about Black History Month. That's next month. We talking about today. Who kills black people mostly today? White people? White people don't kill black people today, physically. Who's mostly killing black people today? You see what I'm saying? Black people killing black people today. So you could be one of them people that just hang on to the past and talk about the whole history of racism, the whole history of brutality, you could be a historian. You're a historian, ain't you? You a historian. I knew you was a historian. You're a historian, ain't you? You a historian. That's what it is. You're a historian. You're just a historian, that's all. When you talk about violence on black people compared to white people versus black people, you a historian could talk about white people and what they did. We talking about right now. See, if you don't stay relevant, you're gonna sound out of date, ain't you? Do you realize that being pro-black is almost irrelevant because of black on black killing? because the approach is that the white man this, the white man that, and then the black man is the one doing all the stuff to you. So it's almost irrelevant. Make sense? Yeah, it's almost irrelevant when you know you talk about pro-black and then you killing each other. So that whole approach is almost irrelevant. The whole approach to black on black crime, black on racism and being pro-black is almost irrelevant because of black people killing each other. In other words, it's not relevant. That worldview is not displayed in the world we live in. And in reality. In reality, it's not displayed. So it's almost like this vintage perspective. Like I told you, I'm not a soul brother. Soul brothers is gone, man. So why I'm gonna be a soul brother if they gone? So I'm just supposed to be a soul brother because I'm a Christian. Oh, it's that, ain't it? I'm supposed to be a soul brother because I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to be a soul brother because I'm a Christian. Well, I'm not. I'm not a soul brother. And I've been said that. I'm not a soul brother, buddy. Because it doesn't make sense to be. I have to adjust to it. See, you have to adjust to every situation. If you got black people conspiring against you, what you gonna do? You gonna be a soul brother? You gonna be a soul brother if they playing games and playing in your face. See, man, if we take it to Africa, which we should have been done, it's easy to understand. Because in Africa, Africans fight other Africans. And it's not considered racism. It's black people, Africans fight other Africans. And that's all it is to it. All I'm saying is if I got a problem with these African Americans, then don't act like it's racism. Don't throw that in there. The only thing you need to throw in there is that they play with my reputation and they play with me. Don't throw in no racism. Because see, you so shell-shocked by racism, anytime somebody opposes black people, they gotta be a racist. Ooh. So it's not legitimate reasons for black people to be opposed. No, let's slow down right there. Let's slow down. There's not legitimate reasons for black people to be opposed with all the stuff that they're doing. So you don't think somebody could find a real legitimate reason to oppose black people? It ain't a real good reason. It's not no reason. All that stuff they doing out there, how ratchet they are, how ghetto they are, all the talking they do. You telling me it's not a legitimate reason for me to oppose black people? I'm not crashing out, buddy. Listen, I'm growing as a man every single day. Your growth spurts happen, every 3 weeks, 3 years? You grow a little bit every 3 years, don't you? Everybody can see the growth in you every 3 years. I grow by spiritual means, buddy. I grow by spiritual means. Okay? No, see, you used to black people charging into the game. You know what I'm saying? Letting people do what they want to do and going back and forth. And some people call them how it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a soul brother. Okay? I adjust to my situations. And if we look at Africa, Africans fight other Africans. And the only aspect is good versus evil. That's what it is. It's not that, here in America, if you oppose evil African Americans, I guarantee you somebody out of the batch of the people is going to look at you as a racist. Because they're almost triggered to think that if you oppose black people, you got to be something wrong with you. You must be a racist. Don't you see all we went through? How you going to oppose us? How you gonna be against us? Don't you see all we going through? Well, if you going through so much, then why can you kill each other? That's my thing. If you feel so oppressed, it should affect how you treat each other in your whole worldview. Your whole worldview should be different based on how you being treated. Where you can kill each other as much. But that's not the case, is it? No, it's not the case. It's not the case. So see, you just used to people being biased. Even now you biased. You're not even it's so ingrained in your head to be biased that even while I'm saying this, you're still biased. Where you can't even see straight that you're doing all the killing each other, right? You're killing each other. Now you say you heard it, but you don't have corresponding action. See, long as you have this arrogant idea, oh, I've heard that before. Okay, but you don't got no corresponding action today. So you're still biased today, so you need to hear it again. Because as long as you're biased, it doesn't matter what you say you heard. You haven't changed. You're still the same. Which is the reason why it's being said today. Because you haven't changed today, have you? Okay, that's why it's being said today. As long as you're biased about black on black violence that's killing black children and black infants and babies, as long as you're biased about that, no one wants to hear about racism. The only way you could still get people to take you seriously on racism is that you would address black on black violence with the same energy. The exact same energy. We could see that you're taking it as seriously as a white man hurting you. Because soon as a white man hurts you, you right out there and you all protesting. Why you don't protest like that for one black person being killed by another black person? You don't have the same energy. So then I don't take you seriously. No, I don't take you seriously because my point of view is this. If you're trying to preserve black lives, then you would have to address black people. If you're trying to help your people, you will have to address black people. If you're trying to protect your people, you will have to challenge black people. You see what I'm saying? You see how it's a contradiction. You see how we see you really ain't about that life. Because if you was, you will wholeheartedly, not 60%. See, the Jedi mind trick is, I'll address black on black violence 60%. With 60% energy. That's how much energy I put towards it, 60%. But then when the white man does something, you 1,000% on that. And you don't think, this part matters. This part matters because the energy is what's going to determine how seriously people take it. Well, if you come with 60% energy on black violence, people are not going to take it that seriously. That 40% is how that 40% is what's going to make people not take it that seriously. Which means they probably won't take it seriously 40%, half of it, almost half of it. If you don't take it seriously 100%, 60%, right? That 40% is what's going to make people drop their energy down 40% less than it should be. But if I'm out there talking about one random killing that a white man has done, and I'm 1,000%, then everybody gonna be revved up. That's human nature. It might not be you, but that's human nature, and that's all I'm talking about. See, the thing that the smart man realizes is that everybody's not smart, right? So guess what? What that means? Guess what that means? A smart mentality is not going to be applied to the overall effect of what's going to happen out here on the streets, because everybody out here ain't smart. That's black, white, and everybody. So then a smart man still has to come down to a dumb mentality. I don't dumb down, but I have to come down to a dumb mentality. You see the difference? Because even though I'm smart enough to not make certain decisions or certain ways of thinking, the average person isn't. So then that outcome is going to be, that's going to be the way most people think. The dumbed down mentality. So it doesn't matter if you will say, well, you know, I'm not going to make those decisions. I'm not going to make bad decisions. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter. The average person is out here. The average person out here is going to make bad decisions, is going to do the wrong thing, is going to think stupid. And if you come out here with 100%, 1,000% on the white boy, then these dumbed down people gonna do the same thing. They gonna say, yeah. But then if you come out here halfway biased, 60% energy on when black people kill each other, dumbed down people gonna be the same way. They ain't gonna shout out through the crowd when you giving 60% energy, and they gonna give 1,000% energy against black on black crime and black on black violence. No, they gonna get on the same wavelength as you. They gonna be on the same wavelength as you, which means the average person that hear you talking at 60% energy against black on black violence, they gonna be on the same wavelength, and they gonna give 60% energy too. Now you might not, because you're smart enough to give 1,000, right? I'm smart enough to give 1,000, but they not. So then it's irrelevant when it comes to the collective community, what a smart person is like and how we think. See, that's the bad part about being smart. Well, it doesn't apply to the collective community. They're not thinking this way. You can be smart all day, but they're not thinking like this. So then but the good part about being smart is I don't have to live in the reality that you paint as dumbed down people, where you can go out here and cry about what a white man is doing to you, but then a black man does the same thing to you every single day in the hood. On the weekend, I guarantee you somebody done got shot out here. On the weekend, I guarantee you somebody done got killed by black people. Now, is it going to make national news? No, it's not. When a white man kills you, it makes national news, don't it? It makes national news. But it's the same thing. He's doing nothing differently than what you're doing to yourselves. What's the difference? If it was me, I would hold black people a little more accountable, because you already seen what all black people go through. So then you know, and you're over here with black people, and so I will hold you more accountable, but in your community, you're held less accountable. The white man he don't really know how you think. So he wind up killing one of you. It's a disagreement, I guess you could say. He don't know how you move, he don't know how you think, he don't really know you. He comes from a whole different community, he's scary, all of that, right? So you can kind of see how he might jump the gun, no pun intended, and shoot somebody. Because he ain't from the black neighborhood. He don't really know, that it ain't gonna go that far, right? So he jumps the gun. You are black, right? Well, how you jump the gun? You know black people, oh, well, you didn't jump the gun, you were just arrogant, wasn't you? You killed that person because you was just arrogant. Because you wanted to show them how tough you was. You wanted to show them how real you are. That's why you killed him. It wasn't that you knew he wasn't really a threat, right? Right. How many black people kill people and you know they wasn't a threat? Meaning your life wasn't in danger. How many people have you killed out of arrogance, mere arrogance, and you knew your life wasn't in danger? The white man might feel like his life in danger. remind you, he's out of touch. He don't sit down and eat food and eat meals with black people. He doesn't hang out with black people. He don't have parties with black people. He don't go play spades with. So he really don't know black people, right? He ain't seen black people fight. He ain't seen black people argue. He ain't seen black people have conflicts with each other, right? So he just gonna go by the stereotypes, even if he's a cop. He's still gonna go by stereotypes. He's still gonna go by, in fact, he gonna go by the crime, all the crime in this neighborhood. So he gonna be more on point. Think about it. He gonna be more on point than you, just based off the reputation of this neighborhood. But you could be in the same neighborhood and you kill people in the same neighborhood, not because they was a threat, like the cop thought. You killed them because of arrogance in the same neighborhood, which means you didn't have to kill the person in this bad neighborhood that the cop is scared of. Oh, consider he's white too. He might be afraid that he could be killed because he's white. Well, think about it. For some people, black people, you can't show me one black leader that really has addressed black on black violence and crime with 100%, like you outraged when the white man kills you. The same outrage. See, we know you're capable of outrage. You know how we know you're capable of outrage? Because when one white man kills you, you lose your whole mind. You lose your mind when white people kill you, but you don't lose your mind when black people kill you. You know that? Do you see the pattern of contradiction? You see why people don't take you seriously? Because it's a lot of white people that don't take you seriously if you're killing each other. Oh, you didn't think about it, did you? You know why? Because your leaders are biased and they've taught you to be biased. You didn't even think that white people wouldn't even take your complaints seriously, talking about racism, until you stop killing each other. I mean, think about it. They're going to think you go to the same neighborhood, you're going to do all this protesting and then go to a neighborhood where they kill each other. So it's just like protesting and then going back to a neighborhood. Yeah, you know, Bobo got killed. You just came from a protest. There's people telling you in the neighborhood when you come back from a protest, oh, they killed Bobo. Oh, wow. That's messed up. Not the same energy. You ain't gonna go out there and protest right after you heard they killed Bobo, are you? That's 7 hours. No, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna go protest. You ain't gonna go protest. You know, you gonna hang on what the white man doing. You gonna sit around and hear Bobo got killed. No, think about this. Think about doing all the times that you seen Black Lives Matter out there and these protests and everything. You know, let's just talk about let's just look at like George Floyd, right? With George Floyd in Minneapolis, they got killed from the cops, right? It was a nationwide protest, right? Which means black people was protesting in their own neighborhoods. Out of one of those neighborhoods, while protesting about George Floyd, there had to be somebody that died in their neighborhood at the same time, simultaneously, right? So simultaneously, somebody died in their neighborhood. So they sitting down, coming back to the hood from a Black Lives Matter protest or a protest protesting about George Floyd. We talking about George Floyd, right? When that happened, they come back to their neighborhood and hear Bobo got killed. Cause somewhere in the country, somebody was getting killed in the black neighborhoods while they was protesting about George Floyd, right? Okay. So somewhere in some city, they were protesting about George Floyd downtown in their city. When they went back to their neighborhood, some neighborhood, they heard of somebody being killed in their own neighborhood, right? I guarantee you they ain't have the same energy that they had about George Floyd 3 hours before they heard about that. You see what I'm saying? You see the pattern. They're hearing about Bobo getting killed. Oh, Bobo got killed. Oh, man, that's messed up. So how it happened? Oh, well, you know, it happened at the corner store. He got in an argument with somebody up there. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's it though, right? Now when George Floyd get killed, it's a whole, yeah, we go, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Why's the difference? I mean, even if you say the motive is different, listen, it's still a dead person, ain't it? It's still a dead black person. And like I said, you'll say it ain't the same. How it ain't the same when it's worse, because some people are killed out of arrogance in the black neighborhood, which means it's more of a senseless killing. With a cop, listen, at minimum, it's an interaction with someone that is considered to be a criminal, right? At minimum, right? It's someone that's suspected of something, right? In most cases. In the black community, you killing each other, and it's out of arrogance. It's out of mere arrogance. That's worse. That's even still worse than a cop killing you, because more times than not, it's an altercation. Let's keep it real. All right? Even with George Floyd, it was an altercation, right? When he was accused of something. I'm not saying it's justified, but there was something on the table for why they was confronting this man. It wasn't like, oh, he was just minding his business. In most of the cases, it's always something, right, where something's on the table and then it goes wrong. It's a crime on the table. It's a crime between the cop and the person, and then something go wrong, right? And that's how they get killed. In the case in the black community, it's not something on the table and something went wrong. No, out of arrogance, many times, where you knew this person wasn't a threat, and you still killed them. Which means you really don't care about black people that do that. But these same people that go out here and kill people out of arrogance will go out here and protest about somebody else that's killed. You see how hypocritical that is? And it wasn't even out of arrogance. It wasn't even done out of arrogance. It was done out of an altercation gone wrong, which can happen. It really can. See, I haven't ever been one to just sit up and give 60% about stuff like that. 60% on black people killing each other. That's how much you give, 60%. That other 40%, almost half, right, determines how other people are going to take it. Which means they're not going to take it as seriously as it should be taken. They're going to take it as seriously as you did. You understand, right? So collectively, if half of us on 60%, what you think the other half going to be on? 60%, buddy. You on 60%. Half of y'all on 60%, right? What you think the other half going to be on? When they see you out there, maybe they ain't go protest. Maybe they ain't do nothing. Maybe they ain't say nothing about the killing, right? But you saying something about it here and there, a little bit on the news. You 60%, right? You 60%, right? You 60%. Everybody watching you subconsciously they're not gonna be able to muster a strength or energy stronger than yours. That's just how the psychology works. So if I see you on the news as a black man, right? I see you on the news as a black man, and you're just basically at 60% with the killing. You ain't outraged, saying no justice, no peace. You ain't saying none of that kind of stuff. You're more biased towards your own people, to where you're gonna give more of a comfort attitude to the whole situation instead of outrage. You ain't gonna be too outraged against your own people, right? So can you imagine the person that's watching you on TV? Let's say it happened in some news clip. Can you imagine them saying, yeah, we gonna get this person? But you wasn't like that. You didn't just express that same energy, but the audience that's watching you give 60%. They're gonna be outraged on 1,000%. No, they're not. No, they're not. the higher psychology understands in this case, in this context, that when you give 60% where you don't really care, you do, but you don't have enough care to really address it as it needs to be addressed. That's how the other person, the audience that's looking at you, they're not, higher psychology understands, they're not going to have 1,000% while you got 60%. They're going to watch you, and most people are not going to say, well, I'm outraged about it. Let's do something about it. But you just gave 60%. No, they gonna comprehend you see what I'm saying? This is higher psychology. They gonna comprehend your vibration on that issue, and most likely they're not gonna go above, the average person is not going to go above the energy that you're putting out about this situation. The average person. We talk about the average. Remember, you're smart, but most people are limited to these higher psychologies, if you will, and they're not going to come above it. They're not. You might, they won't. So if there's a killing and somebody expresses 60%, everybody else is going to be on 60%. That's just how it is. That's how followers are. If you're a follower, you're most likely, and the average person is in America, especially now, you're going to be on 60%. While it really is 1,000% situation. When children get killed, notice nothing changes. Black children get killed. Now let a police kill a black child. It's over with. Y'all explode. It's a nationwide affair, isn't it? Yes, it is. You see what I'm saying? You see why it's easy for me to feel this way. You see why it's easy for me to feel this way. You don't give 1,000%, but let a white man kill a child, a black child. It's gonna be a nationwide protest, and we know that. If a black man kills a child, a white man kills a child, it's a nationwide protest. And that's the hypocrisy. That's what I'm talking about. And until you change that, nobody's taking you seriously. I mean, I'm too smart to take you seriously. It's almost a tradition to see what the white man is doing and respond with a protest. But when the black man does the same thing, it's almost tradition to have 60% energy on the same issue. It's a tradition. It's almost a tradition. It's almost a tradition, bro. That's why, people don't take you seriously. You don't think white people sit around and say, well, I don't really take people seriously that kill each other and then go out here and protest about what the police is doing. You don't think white people sit around, smart white people sit around and think about that? Playing yourself, bro. If you kill yourself, I'm serious. This is not an angry message. This is a real message. If you kill yourself, you think white people ain't sitting around and saying, well, I don't take them seriously on nothing they talking about because they kill each other too much. And the thing is they don't address it the same way. That's why. It's not, okay, it's one thing where it's out of your control. We understand being out of your control. The drug trade is kind of out of your control. So you really can't stop necessarily people from killing each other. But your response, you have control over your response. You might not have control over the killing, but you got control over your response now, don't you? Yes. Yes. So imagine me taking you seriously when your response is 60% when you kill each other, but it's 1,000%. It's 1,000% when a white man kill you. And then guess what? He ain't even killing no children like y'all kill children. How many black children get killed by the police? When the last time you seen a black child, not a musty grown man, not a musty grown woman, when the last time you seen a black child get killed by the police? Can you remember? I can't even remember. That means someone that's under 18. This isn't a voucher for the police. I can't stand the police. I can't stand them. But facts is facts. And we're talking about you more than the police. I'm just using the police and what they do as an example to what you do. You get it? So I'm just using them as an example of what they do and your response to what they do. To show you yourself. To show you. To show you. I'm showing you where you don't have the same energy. And which means, see, you would say you don't care. Okay, well, see, among masters and legends, that's a checkmate for me. Because as soon as you don't care, that means it ain't no need for you to talk about how black people are treated altogether. Ain't no need for you to talk about racism. Ain't no need, and that's a checkmate for me. Which means you a joke, and I don't take you seriously, and that's checkmate. Soon as you act like you don't care, then that means we ain't trying to talk about no racism no more. We ain't trying to talk about no nobody doing nothing to you at all. And that's checkmate. That's all there is to it. That's checkmate, buddy. And basically, man, you live in a time where we're beyond race as far as who's killing you or the white man killing you, because you killing yourself more. Now you find someone, the prophet, that addresses it as it needs to be addressed. You killing each other more than the white man is killing you. He ain't killing your children. When the last time he killed your children? Show me the last time national news came up where a white man killed a black child under 17. I'll just go a little lower. When the last time a cop killed somebody under the age of 9 years old? When the last time a cop killed somebody under the age of 9 years old? You even know without even thinking about it or knowing about it, we black people done killed somebody under 9 years old somewhere in the country. Right or wrong. Okay, you know that. You know that without even thinking about it. You just gotta put a face to the situation. You just gotta put faces, plural, to the situation. That's all you gotta do. You already know cops have, black people have killed somebody under 9 years old. When the last time a cop killed somebody under 9 years old in the black neighborhood? You can't even tell me when. I don't even know when. You don't know when. But you already know subconsciously that somebody black done killed somebody under 9 years old in the last year or so, right? You already know that, right? Right. You see where I'm going with this? And even with that being said, you still on 60% energy when it comes to what they've done to black children, black people who done to black children. You still on 60% energy, ain't you? You're not on 1,000%. And the white man is killing grown, musty men and women half the time. That listen, wind up doing the crime in the first place. Wind up doing something they shouldn't have been doing. You ain't considering that. You ain't considering the fact that they're not some innocent person being lynched. You know, you can say that happened to a child. A child is basically just being lynched by black people. Well, it's being killed, lynched, killed. What's worse, lynched or killed? Killed is worse than lynched. It's worse than lynched. It's worse than being lynched. And you ain't saying nothing about it, are you? You ain't saying nothing about it. See, now, in the smart man's world, do I take you seriously? Now, dumb people is dumb people. Stupid people is stupid people. They gonna go along with the 60% versus the 1,000% that you got for white people. And you can find these white girls that like to take black penis. They gonna go along with the 60%. They not gonna keep it 100. A white girl that's taking black penis presently, she gonna go along with the 60%. She ain't gonna go along with the same with her own 1,000% energy on these black kids being killed because she too busy taking black penis. That's why I don't take no white girl seriously that's over there taking black penis, because you ain't gonna form your own opinion. You gonna go with your boyfriend's opinion. Now talk to a white girl that ain't presently taking black penis, and she over there with a white boy. She gonna tell the whole truth. I ain't listening to no white girl smoking Newports and taking black penis. She gonna be worse. Think about it. She gonna be worse. She gonna be more dumbed down. You think she gonna come above black people and say what the truth is, and she over there with them? No, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna talk about it. She's not going to talk about it with 1,000% energy. Now let a black person get killed by the police. That same white girl taking penis and smoking Newports, taking black penis and smoking Newports, she going to be out there protesting about a cop killing black people. But then if in the same hood she live in, where a little girl got smoked, she ain't going to say much of nothing. She going to look around, think about what I'm talking about. She gonna look around at all the black people and she gonna have the same energy they got. She ain't gonna come above that energy, right or wrong. No, she's not. See, that's higher psychology. See, if you address everything with higher psychology, we get rid of all the foolishness. The problem is people don't address most things in America with higher psychology. When you address everything considering higher psychology, all the foolishness blows away. It gets blown away. What's been the problem is nobody has addressed things with higher psychology. So here's some homework for you. In your life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's black on black crime, whether it's white folks smoking black folks, whether it's racism, whatever it is, address everything not with a 5th grade education. Address everything with higher psychology, which is more of a college education. See, some of y'all hold up. Some of y'all intellect is not expressed on a higher level of like college education, which some would say is just a competent adult that understands the world, is educated, because you can still educate yourself outside of going to college. You don't express yourself on a college education as far as intellect and how you think. Your thinking process and how you think is not on a college education. No, it's not. See, I got around it because I'm a Christian. I started studying and God started showing me things, right? So I got around not having a college education to where I still think on a level of college education and beyond, to where now my intellect is expressed like someone that goes to college and learn different terms and different dynamics of life that a child wouldn't learn, that a high school a graduate wouldn't learn. See, when you go to college, different aspects of intellect in life is expressed, right, that you don't find in high school. So if you don't go, you don't understand other aspects and dynamics of life until maybe you experience it in your own life, and then maybe you might sit down and ponder it. But before that, or if you don't experience that, you ain't gonna come to a higher level of intellect to where you think like somebody that's been in college, to where you've been exposed to different dynamics of life, like hypocrisy. You don't know what hypocrisy is really when you're in high school. You only understand hypocrisy when you go to college. And after college, you start understanding hypocrisy. Okay? Hypocrisy is when you kill each other and you talk about white people killing you. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X did not see the black community go through this level of hypocrisy. Malcolm X did not see crack cocaine hit the streets. And how, so you can't say what his response would have been because you didn't see Malcolm X was not here. You can't say what Martin Luther King Jr.'s response would have been to crack cocaine and gang banging because you were not here. They were not here, right? Okay, so you really haven't seen a leader express 1,000% like Malcolm X would have expressed about killing each other with gang banging and crack cocaine. You really didn't have no leaders that expressed the 1,000%. Malcolm X wouldn't have been dumbed down. He was an individual. He stood outside of black people. He didn't think dumbed down as black people want him to think. That's why, I mean, you look at his life. He left the Nation of Islam. He stood out for himself. He stood up for himself. Both. He stood out for himself. He stood up for himself. That's the difference between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. You got two type of Negroes. Ones that follow Malcolm X and ones that follow Martin Luther King Jr. I don't follow Martin Luther King Jr. His whole family was Freemasons. And a Freemason is a goofy type of person that just pick and choose information to apply to situations, not considering the tailor-made situation and what needs to be tailor-made applied to the situation. A Freemason would take a whole bunch of energy, a whole bunch of information, and just apply whatever they want to apply. I know, I watched them. That's what they do. And they wind up being wrong just applying this cookie cutter information to a situation. You want an example of Martin Luther King Jr. doing that? Applying the Gandhi approach to America. Martin Luther King Jr. walked around saying he took his approach from Gandhi, which is nonviolence. But that worked for India. That did not work for the United States of America, obviously, because he was killed. Okay? So the nonviolent approach did not work. It wasn't applied to him when he applied it to America. He applied it to America and it did not work for him. Okay? So then a Freemason is taught to just apply this and apply that and apply this and apply that. Instead of, in the difference between Malcolm and a Freemason and Malcolm and other black people, Malcolm X did not apply just some random information to an American society. He looked at it for what it was, sized it up as it is, and applied the proper information. A Freemason will take and just apply all this information because they read a lot, they get a lot of information, right? So think about it. They don't just think about all this information they got and what sounds good to apply to the situation. Which the truth is, sometimes you ain't even got the right information to apply to the situation. You ain't even got it. You don't even got it. And that's where you got to have God. When you don't even have the right information to apply to the situation. And you don't want to be like, for example, all these black people playing with me and what I should do about it. You ain't got the information. A Freemason ain't got the information for that, do they? No, they don't. That's 7 hours. Listen, you ain't got the information for what I should do when all these black people been playing with my life. What information you got? What information you got that I should apply that's applicable to this situation? And see, that's where you follow God. And that's what I'm doing. And it's working quite well for me. It might not be working quite well for you because you're on the bad end of the stick. But as far as black people go, but it's working great for me. It's working great for me. And so then you can be like a Freemason and give all the right answers and all what I should do and everything in this situation. No, 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 no. People played with my life and they was clowns from day one doing it. Cause they never had enough proper information to play with me. Okay, that's number one. That's the foundation. Okay? That's foundational. Okay? They seen who I was, didn't they? They seen what I really do in real life, right? So then so all you gonna do is say, well, it wasn't all the black people. That's the worst thing you could say to an educated man like me. It wasn't all black people. That gets under my skin. No pun intended. No pun intended. It gets under my skin when you tell me it wasn't all black people. How in the world? Let me bring your since you didn't go to college, nor did you become a Christian, nor did you become a spiritual person where God leads you into information like me. Let me explain something to you. When you say God, no, it ain't all of us. It ain't all black people. The whole aspect of, well, it wasn't everybody, just that right there. That's what really get under my skin more than anything. It wasn't everybody. It wasn't all of us. Let me help you understand something, because maybe you got 5th grade education. How is it going to be everybody? How is it ever going to be the situation where it's literally everybody? How is that going to be possible? When everybody don't have the same worldviews, they you got Democrats, you got black Democrats, you got black Republicans. They not going to agree with what you're doing. They don't care about it. They feel like me. You contradict yourself, so it don't matter enough. It don't matter enough what you're going through. It don't matter enough what you're going through when you kill each other. No, it don't. And so now you got to realize we live in a world differently from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. So you can't even apply their world to this world of black people. You can't apply Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X's world of black people to this world of black people over here in the present day world, which means you can't apply the same approach. You don't get it, do you? Is the same approach working? It's not working, is it? I wonder why it's not working. Because it's not the same black people. That's why it's not working. The same approach of Malcolm X and MLK is not working because it ain't the same audience. And if it is the same audience, their head is gone, their mind is gone. Well, why it worked for the people in the past? Why it worked for good black people in Malcolm X time? But it's not working now. Why the same approach isn't working now? Because they don't have the same worldviews. They don't value each other as they once did. The bottom line is black people don't value each other like they once did. And that's listen, that's something you got to come to terms with. Like I said, you could do all what you do as a smart person, right? But over here, it's a whole nother ball game. And some people are in denial. You're in denial. You know the first stage of loss? The first stage of loss is denial. So when you lose good black people and you lose good, real pro-black people that really stand for black people, your first stage, which you're still there, your first stage is denial. When you lose anything, the first stage is denial. You're in denial about it. Many of you are in denial about the loss of black community. You're in denial about it. That's the first stage of loss, is denial. Go ask a psychologist. It applies in this situation. Why I don't? It's any type of loss. Any type of loss. Any type of loss, the first stage is denial. And that's where you are. You're in a stage of denial. And you know how long you've been in the stage of denial? Since Malcolm X and MLK was assassinated. That's how long you've been in a stage of denial. You lost them, right? Right. You get it, right? You lost Malcolm X. You lost MLK. You're in a state of denial. You've been in a state of denial. Right after that, you had 1 decade after that. Everybody was falling off. Then crack cocaine came right after that. You only had 1 full decade before crack cocaine came out. You had all the 70s. Both of them were killed at the end of the 60s, right? The 70s, everybody, my thoughts are, is everybody was lost after they died. What they do next? They got into drugs. They got into cocaine, heroin. That was the 70s too. The 70s wasn't a sober decade for black people. Well, no. In fact, the 70s was a very drug-infested decade for black people. Okay? They just didn't have crack. They had cocaine and, and other things, right? By the 80s, you only had 1 solid decade, and then after the 80s, you start losing black people again. So you lost Malcolm X, you lost MLK, 1 decade later, 10 years later, you start losing black people to crack cocaine at a rapid, rampant pace. You see how you kept losing and losing and losing black people, and you became, listen, you went into a stage of denial. And right now, you can have all the prominent, famous leaders and all the black people, and you still are in a stage of denial about the real reality of the situation. And see, as long as you're in the first stage of loss, where you lost good black people that don't kill each other, and all this gang banging that's been going on for 20, 30 plus years, you standing up, being optimistic, but you're in a state of denial. But you're the main community that is talking about keeping it real. Keeping it real. Keeping it real, but you in denial. That's what it is. You in a state of denial. Listen. You don't have to believe in me. Let me make this very clear. Because I am a prophet, there's a dynamic where people act like when they approach me, they gotta believe in me, or they're just, this whole dynamic of it. Well, do we believe in them? Do we don't? Do we do? Do we do? Do we don't? You don't have to believe in me. What I challenge you, I'm not looking for you to do that. I'm not looking for you to do it. You got a hang up that make you think, because I don't know where you got it from. I mean, you probably got it, obviously you got it from American culture, where you think a prophet is on the tightrope for you to say he's real or not. I'm not on the tightrope. If you play with me, you suffer. Okay, that's all there is to it. That's how a prophet is going to talk in 2026. You play with me, you suffer. Okay? I don't care if you believe in me. Believe in information of facts. And see, that's how we know you're biased. There's something wrong with how you process information. Because this is facts. You marrying children, that's facts, ain't it? So something's wrong with how you process information. When you can have a 1,000% energy on a pedophile. But then when we tell you America's marrying children, you got 60%. You got 60% when it comes to America marrying children. You got 1,000% on a pedophile. Back to not taking people seriously. Like, I don't take half of the black people seriously. Why would I take you seriously when you talk about pedophiles, but then I show you marrying children and you're on 60%? 60% energy as opposed to 1,000% energy when we talk about a pedophile. I don't take you seriously. You're marrying children, for crying out loud. I don't take you seriously. Now, the bad part for you is that you've been living in a whole different altered reality. And so you couldn't possibly see the real outcomes of what's going to happen in the real world because you're in an altered reality that's altered because of your bias and perspectives on everything. America, black people, everything. Even white people bias on black people. Because of this bias mindset, you couldn't possibly see reality because you didn't consider reality because you're biased. See, when you're biased, how you gonna process reality properly? If I'm biased towards black people, how am I gonna process reality properly towards black people? Because my reality is already altered. It's an altered reality. So then with an altered reality, how I'm gonna address things and how I'm gonna process things, and the repercussions for things that black people do. How I'm gonna process that properly and know it's coming if I'm biased. I'm not gonna know it's coming. I'm not gonna know that God is bringing judgment for all the killing of black children and black people if I don't know, if I'm biased. I'm not gonna know it's coming. So what you think is supposed to happen? Let's slow down right there. Let's parallel park right there. Let's parallel park right there. What do you think is supposed to happen? Oh, let's just look at it for what it is. All the black killing, all the black children, all the black people being killed. What's supposed to happen? What would, if you had to call it, which we know you can't call it, right? But if you had to call it, what would you say should happen? With all the killing of black children. Now keep in mind now, you're putting your heart into the situation, not your mind. You putting your heart into the situation, not your brain, right? Like as if that was your children that was smoked by some person that was just arrogant. And now your child is gone forever. See, there's two types of black people. People that have lost their family to the streets and people that ain't lost nobody to the streets because they suckers. They whole family suckers. Now let's talk about people that lost family like me. I done lost family to the streets. My brother, dead from the streets. You ever did you lose somebody that close to the streets? No, you didn't. Because your family suckers. Did you lose a brother to the streets? Did you lose a sister to the streets? Did you lose cousins to the streets? Dead and gone from the streets. So then if you have not lost nobody to the streets, your family, then you these black people over here that's in the altered reality. You one of them Bill Cosby kids. That's what I call them. Like the Huxtables. They live in this fake world, this perfect world that white black people don't even live in. You remember watching the Bill Cosby show? Black people never lived like them. That was the main thing about it. Black people didn't do none of the stuff they did. We argue, we're dysfunctional, we're toxic. It's fights in the house. Why on the Bill Cosby show they have no fights, no physical? That ain't no black family. Hey, when Bill Cosby and his wife argued, it wasn't no real argument, was it? Man, listen, man. That's why I say some of y'all, listen, the Bill Cosby family, I call you the Bill Cosby family. You come from the sub. You remember Bill Cosby on that show? He was a doctor. You remember? See, there's some black people that don't live in the hood. Their dad was a doctor. Their mom was a lawyer. Some stuff like that, you know. And those type of black people don't go through what me and you go through. The toxic black family that I've been through. Fights in the house. Family fighting family. You ain't never seen that? Physically fighting. Not arguments like Bill Cosby say, oh, we had a fight. You go look, oh, that was an argument. Well, that's a fight. And you know how white people say in America, oh, we was fighting. We had a fight, but that was an argument. When black people say you got to fight, it's a physical fight. When they was fighting, you find out they was arguing. Man, they was arguing. They wasn't fighting. So you got two types of black folks. The Bill Cosby family and regular black families. Toxic. Broken families. Broken homes. Where people that aren't raised by their biological fathers and mothers. Was I raised by my biological father and mother? No. My mother was in the house and my biological father was not in the house. He left when I was 5 years old. Okay, so my biological father, just in case you thought I was one of the Bill Cosby kids, because you might be listening to these dumb Freemasons. I'm just letting you know. They couldn't have possibly knew this, or they too stupid to consider this, right? When looking at who I am, I'm just like the average black family. My mother, I was raised by my mother, and my biological father was not in the house. That's called a broken home. That's what it's called. That's what happens to most black people. I went through the same thing. My father was not in the house after 5 years old. Okay? You see what happened? And you telling me as a boy that a father in the house would not make a world of difference? Of course it would. It would make a whole world of difference on how we come up. So see, when you haven't come from that level of toxic environment and dysfunction where things don't function properly, then, you know, you're going to be the type of black people that ain't really went through nothing. So then you become the kind of black people that give all the perfect answers like the Freemasons. You're going to give all the perfect answers on what should be done and how it is and how, and you're going to have this white boy approach to black people in America. That's what, so we have to differentiate the Cosby family from the real black people. I made up, you can use this for yourself. The Cosby family, these black families that ain't raised in the hood, man, they gonna be sellouts for the Americans. They gonna work for the police. They gonna work for the Freemason. And they look just like you. They can have dreads. They can have gold teeth. These days, they can have Bill Cosby family have gold teeth. hey, Bill Cosby family got tats on their face. Oh, it's popular now. You know, hey, have you looked at the tats on people's face lately? It's random stuff. A heart. You know, even godly things, even Christian stuff on their face, everything. When it first started out, I'm gonna tell you the first person who started that. Gucci Mane and Birdman. Gucci Mane and Birdman was doing that before everybody was doing it. They thought, I remember when Gucci Mane had the ice cream cone on the side of his face, and everybody, hold up, I ain't finished with the story. All of black America in America thought he was crazy for putting the ice cream cone on the side of his face, on his cheek. It was like right here, right? They was taking pictures and everything. You can go back and look. They were taking pictures and everything like he done lost his mind for putting that on his face. Now everybody doing it. Now white boys and Bill Cosby kids is putting ice cream cones on their face like Gucci Mane. I remember when it first started, I remember when the tats on the facial tattoos first started. It was, for me, it was Gucci Mane. I seen Gucci Mane first. I didn't really pay attention to Birdman's face like that at first. But all I know is Gucci Mane was really first for me on the tattoos on the face because of that big coat, that big ice cream cone on the side of his face. I didn't really think about facial tattoos when it came to Birdman. Gucci Mane is the first one that formed that opinion for me. That's based on the tattoos on the face. Gucci Mane had it first, and the black community was appalled. Everybody was. No, let's remember the energy. Everybody thought that was crazy. I just sat back. I just looked at it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking nothing. I mean, most real ones probably did it like that too. But a lot of people thought, oh, this is crazy. They had pictures of it and everything. You know how like TMZ pictures kind of like that. They had like these pictures and posting it like that. Like we can't believe it. Now look at today. You got white boys all like tattoos all on their face. They ain't no bit of a killer at all. They ain't no killer at all. I mean, all you gotta do is look at the tattoos. No, look at what it is. And people these days got in 2026, they got all kinds of stuff on their face. So it's almost insinuating that I'm a monster, but then when you look at the tattoos, you see you're not a monster. We see you're not a monster. So it's trendy now to look kind of like the killer, the monster with all the tattoos on your face, but it's really when you look at the tattoos themselves for what they are, it's just art. But the insinuation is also I'm a monster because I got all these tattoos on my face. So with that being said, Bill Cosby kids can have all the tattoos on their face. They that work for the police or work for the Freemasons. They can have all these tattoos on their face. Bill Cosby kids can have all that going on. They can have it all going on. Okay, so you can't go by that. You can't go by all that stuff. You can't go by that paraphernalia. You got to go by, worldviews. Worldviews and energy. The energy that people express. Oh, that's important. Because if you express outrage about white boys killing black people, I want you to express the same outrage when black people kill black people too. And that's higher psychology. Because a man will not, like me, will not have his intelligence insulted. You're insulting my intelligence. When you can have when you have this up energy about some white man killing y'all, and then over here you ain't saying nothing. That's insulting my intelligence. That's how it is. If you're cool with that, listen. This is what's going to happen to you. You're going to be taken off guard concerning what God is going to do about all the black killing black children and black people. Oh, you can be like that. God's about to do something about it. So don't you see? It's millions of black people that's being biased. But do you see the blindness, right? You see the blindness, right? Blind to the facts, like Pac would say. Blind to the facts, right? Okay. So they blind to the facts. It's a whole group of black people that's cool, thinking everything's all good. But they've been doing so much killing that judgment is coming from God. And they're going to be taken off guard because of their biased nature. Being biased, not really giving it the real attention that it deserves, not really addressing it with the real energy that it deserves, not addressing it with the real energy that it deserves. So therefore, there's no change. You're going to be taken off guard concerning what God wants to do about it. You know what he wants to do about it? He wants to bring judgment on the black community. That's it right there. That's 7 out. God is bringing judgment on the black community. You didn't think this day would come, did you? You know why you didn't think this day would come? Because you've been biased towards black people the whole time. You've been biased towards black people the whole time. So then why would you think that something was going to happen when you're blind to half of what really is going on, in the sense of what, when you're biased, you're blind, because you ain't going to go as far as what the repercussions should be for what has happened. You ain't going to go as far as what should happen about this. See, when you're biased, you won't go to the next step of what should happen. What should happen about this? Because when you're biased, you're just standing there with a poker face. You see all the killing, you see all the stuff that's going on, but you're just holding a poker face because you biased towards black people. You're gonna be loyal towards black people to a fault. Don't you know you can be loyal to a fault? You can be everything to a fault, right? So you can be loyal to a fault. When you're loyal to a fault, this is what the dynamic of a fault. It's when you are in the equation to blame. Anytime you're in the equation to blame, it's to a fault. You can be nice to a fault. Where now, you got bad situations because you're too nice. So you're to blame. Anytime you're to blame in the equation, it's to a fault. Nice to a fault. When you're nice to a fault, people can see where you're to blame for certain situations. When you're nice to a fault, people can say, well, you shouldn't have been that nice. You should have did this. And so do you think I'm nice to a fault? No, I am not, buddy. Me being nice to a fault would be to let these black people play with me and be nice in the situation. Just being nice, and that's being nice to a fault. I'm not nice to a fault. I already know what's going on, even in this building. So I'm gonna be nice to a fault? No. Now, if you have lower psychology, you're gonna think I should be nice. You see that, right? See, that's a person with lower psychology. They don't have higher psychology. Because if you did, you would already know I'm not going to be a nice guy in this situation. I already know the games you playing in the building. I already know ain't nothing sincere, ain't nothing real. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing real, ain't nothing sincere, ain't nothing good. You know what I'm saying? So why be nice to a fault where I'm just being nice, but I'm at fault because I should have adjusted to what it really was. I'm gonna adjust to what it really is. I always do. And I don't let Bill Cosby people and Bill Cosby kids and Bill Cosby black family tell me what I should do in this situation when you ain't lost no family to the streets. Did you lose some family to the streets? I lost my brother less than 2 years ago to the streets. He dead. 36 years old. 36 with my same blood from my father's side. He got some of my blood. Dead. 36 years old. So my approach to black people is gonna be based on that. 2 black boys, and I do mean boys, killed my brother. So you got black people that has experienced being, they family being victims to gang violence or gun violence or street violence. And then you got Bill Cosby family that gonna give you all the right answers on how you should be with black people. And they gonna be pro-black too. Add that part. They gonna be pro-black while we going through real black. They pro-black, we real black. That part, that's 7 out. Yeah, you pro-black, I'm real black. So what you gonna do is you gonna give all these pro-black, right, pro-black answers. When people when real black can't halfway stand these niggas. It is based off of what the reality of the situation is. It's not racism. And then, and see, if they see the real hate, white people gonna think it's racism. You see the real hate we got for each other, you gonna think it's racism. Well, you're inclined to think that way. You're inclined to think that there's no reason that black people should be angry with other black people. Or in fact, you're inclined to think as Americans, nobody should be angry with black people. Oh no, why is he angry with black people? I can give you a million reasons in my situation. But because you're a Bill Cosby kid or you're you're a white boy, you don't know why he's angry with black people. You don't know why he's angry with black people, do you? Well, we just want to know why he's angry with black people. You're a Bill Cosby kid. You wouldn't understand. You're Theo, ain't you? You're Theo. You're Theo. Well, you know Theo's dead, don't you know? Well, I'm just being honest. Theo's dead. The eldest son from the Bill Cosby show, Theo, is dead. He drowned. He drowned down in the sea. That's what I'm talking about. He drowned doing stuff that black people don't do. Oh, that's not fair. Well, you don't see too many black people getting drowned. Not a grown man. When the last time you seen a grown black man get drowned? He already know, oh no, I don't like that. That water don't look good over there. No, that's too deep over there. Now I chill right here. See, you doing too much. Trying to be out there, trying to swim all around and all of that. It ain't in our culture. No matter how tipsy we get, no matter if we on vacation, no, you gonna look at that water. Oh, it look good. We gonna look at it. Yeah, it look good out here. And you just gonna stand there. It don't matter how people feel. Now, listen, hey, I'm not no professional swimmer. I'm not no neither am I gonna act like a professional swimmer. See, me, I almost drowned myself in my life. See, us as black people, most of us almost drown when we kids. That's when it happened. Going around horse playing, being ghetto, swimming out there when you shouldn't be swimming, being ghetto, you almost drowned. I almost drowned when I was a kid. I was, 14, 15? I was 14. I almost drowned. I was in the ocean too. No lie. And I felt like this water, I was like on the base of the sand. I was on the bottom of the sand in the water. And then I had a slope where it just drifted. Wasn't no more lake, wasn't no more, I'm just swimming. So basically, what I think it was when in this particular beach, the sand and the base of the sand, the base of the ocean floor, let's put it like that, near the shore, it wasn't a lot of that, right? It was a big slope. So I didn't even know. I was just walking around. I mean, I was swimming around. My feet, I remember it touching, I felt like it was touching the ocean floor. And then the slope, I felt all of it go away. It was a huge, big slope. This was basically, how I understand it was commercial fishing in this area. That's probably what caused it over time. So there was like this slope, and I just started drifting. And I couldn't fight against the tide. In this situation, you could feel it pulling you out. And this was a country beach. There was no lifeguards. It wouldn't have been nobody out there in time before I would have drowned. I can tell you that. This was in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina. So we was in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? And you know how kids are. They can't wait to get to the beach water. So as soon as we got there, I jumped in. We didn't even go to the room. We didn't do nothing. As soon as we seen the water, we wanted to get in there so bad that my family left us unattended, right? We was unattended. So We just horse playing, swimming in the water, everything like that. We wanted to get in that water that bad. So I hit this slope and I felt myself drifting. And I was swimming and I could feel myself being taken out. So I was like, my stepdad, his little brother, I was like, yo, help me, man. Help me. Like, I had said that. I remember saying that. Like, yo, help me, man. Like that. He couldn't do nothing. He was just looking at me. And then, because I felt myself being pulled out. You know how you know you're swimming, right? But you're still being pulled out. You're still being pulled out. So I was like, I knew I was in trouble. But it was a good thing that I had already been swimming pretty decent. I'm a pretty decent swimmer, right? But that's the only thing that saved my life, was my confidence as a swimmer. And I was just a young kid. So I was like, so when I kept drifting, I had the bright idea to swim over to the pier. Just so happened I wasn't too far from the pier. If I was far from the pier, it might have been over with. It might have been over with. But I swam over to the pier. That was probably 30 feet. About that. About 30 feet, maybe between 15 and 30 feet. We just so happened to be right near the whole fishing pier, just with the boulders sticking out the water, right? So what I did was I swam over to the boulders and held on to the boulders. This is how bad it was. Now you see where I was at. I'm holding on to the boulders. And so, like, if I wasn't in trouble, it wouldn't have been like that. I would have just been sitting there and there would have been no need to do it. The currents were so strong, I had to fight to actually live. Like, the only thing that my family could have done if they seen me way out there was call the police, and that might have took maybe 20 minutes before they even got out there, bro. Which means if I couldn't swim, I would have drowned anyway. So I still got the scar on my arm from when it happened. Like right there, that scar right there, that's how bad it was. You telling me I ain't almost drowned? That's a scar right there. That's the scar where the wood went into my arm. Because I was swimming to hold on to the boulders, and when the wave hit me, the wood went into my arm. So that's how bad it was. I was holding on to the boulders, the wave hit me, and then so I was smart enough to go in between the waves. Maybe that was the video games, and maybe that's smart to be able to do it. Because you remember back in the day, them vintage video games, you got to wait, then you go through something, you wait, then you gotta go past that. So, I held onto a boulder, and then the wave hit me, and then that's how the wood went up into my hand, my arm. That's how bad of a struggle this was. And then I waited, and then when the wave left, I swam a little further. I think I did it once, maybe twice. I think I did that maybe twice. And I got back to shore that way. My arm was bleeding and there was blood everywhere. And you remember that, the water's salt water, so it probably was stinging too. So, yeah, that's my story of almost drowning. Now, as a grown man, now, no longer a ghetto kid, just doing too much as black kids trying to get in that water. That's why we don't do that. That's why we don't. I think most of us learn at a young age to respect the water. Just respect the water. I get around in there, mess around a little bit. That's about it, buddy. That's about it. No way. Because them currents is what's gonna get you. See, that's what killed that dude Theo from the Huxtables. What's his name? Malcolm Jamal. Yeah, that's how he got killed. Because the currents is what's gonna get you. You ain't nobody gonna be able to save you in time. Then why they ain't save him in time? Because he was already dead, man. I'm not trying to be funny, but he was already dead. That's the thing about when it gets tricky with drowning in the water, man. You can call the police, but if they don't get there in time, it's over. You ain't gonna be able to resuscitate that person or nothing. You ain't gonna be able to do none of that. It's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. You can't bring him back to life. It's gonna be too. They couldn't bring him back. And see that's not our culture. Black people ain't getting out there in no water like that. No. You know what I'm saying? Once I see them currents, like I did when I was a kid, I see them currents and all that water stirring up and all of that. No, I'm good. See, it's certain people be doing too much. You going out there trying to swim all around, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get your vibe on, trying to get your vibe on out. I can get my vibe on right here on the beach shore. Right. Matter of fact, I have a good little time over there on the beach shore. Have some drinks and everything, chill over there. Sure, I have fun. Sure, listen, we became old men before we became old men. Sure, I sit right there on the seashore and have fun. Be right there like an old man. Give me a beach chair. Yeah. Give me a beach chair. Like I'm an old man. Give me a beach chair. Yeah. I let the water hit my feet. I let the water hit my feet. Sound like an old man, don't it? Yeah, I let the water hit my feet. Yeah, put my beach chair right there so my water can hit the feet. So the water can hit the feet. Hey, that's how old people, your grandmother gonna tell you, yeah, put my beach chair so my water can hit the feet. So my feet can hit the water. So my water can hit the feet, right? Hey, your grandma, and that's my ghetto moment for the day. For my water hit the feet. Put my chair right there so my water can hit the feet. Hey man, look man, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. You got black people that's the Huxtables, and you got black people that's real black people. And what they done played with me, they thought I was a Bill Cosby kid. I know they did. Because you know what they did? They went back and look what my mom is living now, presently. Which, not being black people theyself, not being ghetto theyself, a black person gonna know you ain't always lived there. A black person gonna think about it. They probably didn't live here all their life. Nah, they probably didn't live there all their life. A white person gonna go and look at where your mom and them at now and think you grew up there. Not knowing she done lived in two different ghetto places as a black woman herself living in the ghetto. Cause you gonna go from your mom's house back to the hood. Your mom might got a house, but you gotta start your own life back in the hood. You ain't going to a house from your mom's house. See, Bill Cosby kids don't know no better. You ain't gonna go from your mom's house to your own house. More times than not, that's not how it's gonna work. You know how it's gonna work? Your mom gonna be living in the suburbs, and you gotta go back to the hood to start your own life. See, white people ain't never oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, if she lives in the suburbs, I gotta go back to the hood. And that's how you determine somebody too, who they are too. Well, okay, even with that being said, my mom lives in a certain place. Where I'm gonna go? I gotta go back to the hood. And I gotta start my own situation, which means I'm gonna learn street principles, I'm gonna learn the streets and everything. You can't even determine with black people going back and looking at their family, but I bet you a white boy would do that. I bet you police and Freemasons would do that. You're gonna go back to the family to try to figure out who this person is, and it ain't gonna work. That's 7 out. But what you need to know is this. Most black people that live in the suburbs right now, they family went through living 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 different places in the ghetto before they got there. Which means though that kid was probably raised in the ghetto before they got there. I can remember as a kid hearing my next door neighbor get shot a whole bunch of times. Only me, going downstairs to play and running back upstairs from hearing the gunshots. Everybody can't say that. I can. If I would have been down there 5 minutes earlier, I could have got shot as a kid. That's another place I could have died. I was just coming right down the stairs. I was almost there. Boom, 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 boom. I heard a whole bunch of shots. I already knew what it was. It was so distinguished, I knew what it was. I ran back upstairs, told my mom, that I heard some gunshots. The next thing you know, no lie, my next door neighbor directly, how the apartments was in that neighborhood was as soon as you open the door, you see your next door neighbor's door. That's how it was. So he was that close. They were that close to us as a family. Like you open the door is right there, like 10 feet away, maybe 13 feet away. He was right there. He did. He got. He didn't die. But his name was Dallas. Big tall dude, probably about like 6'7", 6'8", big dude. About 6'7". About 6, but he was that big. Big old dude. And he was always cool, man. Dallas was a cool dude. I seen him later on in life, man. I seen him later on in life. Like right around that same hood, right around that same neighborhood. Yeah, I had seen him later on, man. You know, about 2012. About 2012, that's the last time I seen Dallas, man. Like as in Dallas, Texas, Dallas. You know, so it was like, yeah, he knew who I was. I knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? His height was everything. That's how I knew. And face, his height and his face. You know, but yeah, he got shot. He got shot up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know, that's where my mom lived at. You know what I'm saying? And she got stories she could tell you from living in the hood. How somebody was chasing her in the hood, everything. My mom been through that. She had to hide. Somebody was chasing her. You know what I'm saying? In a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this was a white dude, though. Like, but crazy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to chase my mom. Trying to hunt my mom. Like, so, you know, like, you look at situations now. If you're a corny Bill Cosby kid yourself, black people, Bill Cosby kid, you'll hear all this information that they told you, and you'll form their opinion of a white boy. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. Listen, I don't care. Maybe you heard it from my brother. He a Bill Cosby kid. See, my brother was kind of a Bill Cosby kid because he wasn't raised in the hood. I was the brother that was raised in the hood. He was 12 years old by the time he wasn't even a teenager when we moved to the suburbs. I was almost a grown man. I was 17. So I turned 18, and so I was raised in the hood. He wasn't. He spent all his teenager years, this is how you need to hear it. He spent all his teenage years, none in the hood. Hold up, did you hear that? He couldn't have been 13. Tremaine moved to the hood. We moved to the suburbs before Tremaine was even a teenager. That's why he like that. That's why he ain't got no morals. That's why I'm ghetto and he not. Don't let him play you. He wasn't raised in the hood. That's why when he started trying to go out there, I was like, yo, I told him to his face, why are you trying to go out there to the hood and you live in a good neighborhood? This is what I told him as a brother. He was running out there to the streets. And my mom, they would go get him weed. So it wasn't for weed, they had that covered. Cause you're gonna say, well, he out there trying to smoke weed. He ain't need to be thugging. He was too young to be thugging. He ain't hold no weight to be thugging. So he'll play it like everybody else is wanted to be out there, but he wanted to be out there. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. When we was in the suburbs and he's still running over there to the hood. Remind you, he got the smoke. My stepdad took him to go get weed. My family ain't never do that for me. When I was in the hood, they ain't take me to go get the weed, but they didn't. But they wanted him out the streets. So a lot of times they would take him to go get weed, and he wouldn't even have to go to the streets for the weed. That was the purpose. Okay, so there was no other reason. You lived in the suburbs. You didn't have to sell drugs. You didn't have to. So what was it? You wanted to live. You wanted to be out there. That's a wannabe. Because a black man, he gonna be a black child. Most of us gonna become better when we go to the hood. My mom said I became better. I became better when we moved to the suburbs. My mom said that I became better. Because all I did the first summer over there, all I did was eat Totino pizzas and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Funny, because we had just moved to a good neighborhood. That's all I did was watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and ate pizzas. You know, that's all I did. I remember that. I remember that first summer. That's all I did was hang around the house, smoke weed. I smoked weed, but but I just chilled around the house. I was just glad. It was just a nice neighborhood, everything like that. See, that's how ghetto people gonna think. I just settled in. I chilled. But my brother, like, cause he wasn't really a kid from the hood. I don't know how he must have felt like he was losing. He ain't had no reputation. He might have thought a little deeper. You know how a little brother gonna think. They always gonna try to compete. So they always thinking in this competitive type of way. So he probably thought, I gotta go and get some reputation. I gotta go in the hood. I gotta be around certain people, things like that. It didn't even make no sense. That's why he folded. His story is he wound up putting my cousin in prison for 12 years. You can't come back from that. You can't say you're a street person after that. You gotta go get with the Freemasons. You got to, because you gotta reinvent yourself. But the truth is, you only reinvent yourself because you folded. Ooh. You reinventing yourself because you folded. Let's talk about it. How these people they reinvent themselves because they folded. Now all of a sudden you Ozzy Osbourne or some witchcraft person because and what you did as snitching was just considered an evil deed. Ooh. Instead of looking at it like you folded and you was a scared punk, you gonna look at it like it was an evil deed because you worked witchcraft. You see the Jedi mind trick? Where it looked like he put somebody in prison as a witchcraft person or an evil deed, when the truth is you put somebody in prison not because you was a dark person, because you wasn't at that time. You folded. That's why you put him in prison. See, now you're hearing the truth from me. You should know the big brother gonna have all the information. You should know that. Only in the movies where a little brother is looked up to and the little brother is somebody bigger than his big brother. Come on, man. You should know better than that, man. That's how we know you're a Bill Cosby kid yourself. You know darn well in most black families, ain't no little brother gonna be running me. Ain't no little brother gonna be able to beat me at nothing what he talking about. And nothing what he talking about. This whole situation was about him and a female. His woman was attracted to me, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. How I know that is because it was a rumor in the family that I slept with his wife. My cousins told me that this was said, right? Okay, so then how you gonna tell me when my cousins told me that this was said, that this ain't what this is all about? So it just happened to be a rumor in your family about you sleeping with his wife, but that ain't what this is about. That's what make you a Bill Cosby kid. You a Bill Cosby kid, bruh. But you a Bill Cosby kid, because you know how, first of all, you know how territorial black men are over their women, right? I'm not saying this in a racist way, but black men are very jealous and possessive over their women. Right or wrong? Okay, so can you imagine this not being about this? See, a white boy don't know no better. You as black people, I don't see how in the world you even thought any of that. You know a black man ain't gonna go to no community about being abused. And it actually makes sense for what it is. Black people don't do that. You should have knew that's white people that do that. So why he do it? Because it was for you to be against me. That's what it was. The truth is, it was about a woman. Him being bitter and butthurt about his wife being attracted to me. How we know? Because my cousin came in and volunteered that information. She volunteered the information. I ain't asked her. She just said it out the blue. You know, when I was on the subject of him, she told me, well, yeah, you know, it's a rumor in the family that you slept with his wife. So that means the family knew this. I was on the outside. So if it wasn't important, why the family know? Now, I mean, I can see if you felt this in your heart, you know what I'm saying, but you ain't say nothing to nobody, but I thought that's what this was about, but you ain't expressed this to nobody else. But I'm gonna esteem it as important to you, at minimum, if you expressed it to your cousins and family. Most men got too much ego to express that to their family. You ain't gonna want nobody to think that. You ain't gonna want nobody to think that happened. So for him to go as far as expressing that to the family, He went and told the family I slept with his wife. You telling me that ain't what this is about? So that's just a side note for a black man, for a black person, or a man in general. Let's just say, because a white man gonna trip too if somebody's sleeping with his wife. So you telling me this is a side note to a man? This ain't what this is about with a man. But it's a rumor in the family that I slept with his wife. Other people don't matter. We talk about him. You going from issue to issue. We talk about him, and those situations will be addressed as what? A whole different situation. And you ain't gonna be able to pull no information together to create this narrative that you're trying to create. None of that, in other words, ain't none of that information gonna equate me being a sex predator. That's foolishness. That's some white boy Bill Cosby kid stuff. Nah, buddy, cause look, if I was anyway a sex predator, I'm gonna tell you first thing first. You would have found that behavior by criminal charges in something I did all in the country. I've traveled too much for many police or anybody with in their right mind. We ain't talking about dumb niggas. We talking about educated people. Ain't no way in the world you gonna travel around from California to Florida with all these beautiful people everywhere, with all these exotic people everywhere in California with the weather. The weather is gonna attract all types of people in California. Nothing happened there. Nothing questionable there. Right? Nothing. He goes to Florida, which is even worse. It's more exotic people all in Florida. He ain't got no criminal charges. And check this part, he was homeless. So he had a lot of time on his own hands, where a sex predator being homeless probably would get into, they being so idle, what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna get into something that they shouldn't be getting into. You don't see I'm squeaky clean like a normal man, right? Right, because I am a normal man. You see me go from California, I can see if I stayed in one place and then I came up here to New York. But the truth, the smoking gun is, he done moved around too much with nothing going on for us to form our opinion of him being a sex predator. Nah, because it would have came out somewhere. He done been to too many places. And then if you a sex predator, you ain't gonna eventually, when you ain't got nothing to do, and you homeless and you unemployed, you ain't gonna venture into, with that being said, you ain't gonna venture into some sexual stuff. Of course. Ask the police. Half of these sex offenders, some of them were homeless, right? Right. We've been asking dumb niggas. Ask the police how many times you arrested people that was idle and had nothing to do, and they was homeless, and they started messing around children or messing around people, women too. You got sex predators as women. Let's talk about all these black men raping women, because that's what they do. Yeah, while they'll talk about white boys molesting children, let's talk about these black men raping women. You so aggressive, you raping women. Oh, it happens all the time. The last time it was a black man in Jamaica, Queens. He raped a girl. He went into her house. She was like 26 years old. That's when I was over there too. She was like 26. He raped her. They got him. I'm pretty sure. I think they got him. Yeah. He took her phone and a knife from her house. She was so lax. I don't know if this girl was slow or what, but her door was open. Right? I've done that before. You can't do it in New York. You can't do it in New York. She left her door open. The dude came in there. This is in Queens, this last year. He came in there, got a knife from her house, and held her up and raped her with a knife from her kitchen. I can't make that up, man. He came into her house. She didn't even have the door locked. It was no forced entry. He went to the kitchen, got a knife, took her and held her at knife point and raped her. After that, he took her phone, and I think he took a sheet too. They say he took a cover. He probably didn't cover himself up. I don't know. But that's what black men do. You know what you do? You rape women. Oh, listen. Hey, yeah, it's true. I'm not racist. I'm specific. That's what I like to say. If it's you, it's you. White men, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. Black men are more guilty of raping women. And it makes sense. How aggressive black men are, it makes perfect sense. You can't say nothing. So I can show you, if a sexual deviant is left to themselves, even a black man, he gonna rape somebody or something. And that's what the best gonna perform their opinion off of. Now, he traveled too much. You telling me he went through Seattle, he went through all these towns in California, countless towns, even 4 different towns in California, and his mind didn't go rogue, and he just went, him being homeless and unemployed. He ain't doing what we do, getting up in the morning and going to work. So you don't think he gonna venture into that world of sex predatory world when he left to his own devices? And he done went from Florida, California, Seattle, New York, North Carolina, and nothing his whole life? Nah, buddy, listen, what that proves is you played with a normal person. You got played by his brother. His brother wanted revenge because of a woman. I'm telling you, I know what you don't know. That's my family. How you gonna tell me I don't know? That's first of all. You're so arrogant that you think you know my family. That's what I'm saying. You so arrogant. You think you know the story of my family. Look at that. Look at the arrogance in that. Because most people gonna sit back and say, well, I want to hear both sides of the story, not thinking you know because you heard one side. You ain't gonna think you know because you heard one side, are you? No, who's arrogant enough to think that? These dumb Freemasons, and these dumb Illuminati members. You heard one side and thought you knew what happened. Most people gonna say, nah, I want to hear both sides, because you're not gonna still feel like you're arrogant enough to know based off of what this one person told you. You ain't gonna say, oh, I just know. Listening to this one person, I just know. How you just know? That's stupid. See, that's why I'm saying I would have never made that mistake. Nope. Because what I would have done was ask the right questions, like they say in California. In California, they got a saying that say ask the right questions, right? So I would have came to me being me, and you talking to me. I would have said, well, did you and your brother, did y'all go through something? Did y'all got any kind of conflicts? Did y'all have any falling outs or anything he mad at you about? That's what I would have said. Was he mad at? Yeah. I would have told you, yeah, there was a room in the family, because I found this out in 2015. By the time this stuff revved up, I would have told you, oh yeah, was you accused of something by your brother? Oh yeah, he said I had sex with his wife. As soon as you would have told me that, boom, I would have knew that's what this was exact. All this was. You wouldn't even have to tell me nothing else. He said it was a rumor in your family, your real family, where they thought you had sex with your brother's wife. That's serious. That's not kid stuff. That's real man stuff. That's 2 men, and one of them being accused of having sex with his wife, with another man's wife. See, how we know you're a Bill Cosby kid is because you can't process this information properly. You one of them Bill Cosby Freemason kids, ain't you? Your dad probably was a Freemason. Your mom and them probably Freemasons. How we know is because of how you processing this information. A real man gonna know, oh, wow. So your cousin came to you and told you somebody, there was a rumor in the family that you had sex with his wife. Oh, that's what this is all about then. As soon as I told somebody in California, they was like, oh man, I could tell the person, because I know they was an informer or a spy, right? As soon as they heard this information, they was like, dang, because they knew what that was about. California is totally different. I said that around a woman. I know she was spies and ears for this situation, right? So I told her, I was talking through the situation. See, this is what people do. This is different between California. California gonna pick your brain. They gonna ask you questions. They gonna talk to you. Niggas on the not too far from the plantation on the East Coast is gonna sit back like niggas do and talk. In California, it's a whole different type of black person. You know, that they always gonna be the best. New York, California's the best to me. Out LA, they way more thoroughbred on a consistent level. You can talk about all this grand stuff in New York and gangsters and grand gangsters in New York. Woo. The bottom line, as far as I know, the best caliber of gangsters is in California. It's the bottom line. The best caliber of California. Now we ain't talking about them dumb white folks over there. We ain't talking about them. They don't count. We talking about black people, real black people. Right? We're not talking about manipulated black people either. We're talking about unmanipulated black people. They are the best gangsters in America. I'm talking about as far as thoroughbred. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just showing you what the top caliber is. You know? So once I was talking to one of these ladies in California, and she figured out that it was about my brother, and then they thought acting like I had sex with his wife. She stopped her whole energy after that. It was over. It was over. See, that's the difference between the West Coast and the East Coast. Cause you already gonna know the motives, right? That's the motive. So we don't care what else happened. That's what we talking about. White people gonna say, well, what about this? That whatever else you talking about ain't gonna be pedophilia. So then you go screw yourself. Go screw yourself. I'm not your child for you to pick through my whole life. We gonna address what you talk about. Okay, cousins having sex with me, I can talk about that. Well, I lost my virginity to a cousin, right? That was older than me. That was my cousin. Okay, I didn't actually have sex with that person. That person was older and orchestrated sex between us, right? Okay, so with that being said, if you want to talk about that, that's what I'm going to talk about. And that's not pedophilia, is it? Well, I don't consider that pedophilia, even though he was older than me, he was still a child himself, right? See, some of y'all dumb people, dumb niggas, don't know definitions of what things are. Okay, an older cousin sexualizing me still ain't pedophilia. That's not pedophilia. He was a child himself. How's it pedophilia? Retarded, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Starting all these problems and you ain't nothing but an uneducated nigga. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I would have knew, okay, an older cousin had sex with him. Okay. Well, that explains why he would do anything else. That would explain why his behavior was towards others when he was younger. If his cousin, he lost his virginity to an older cousin. So then most people gonna say, oh no, that's thrown out because that explains his whole behavior. If he was sexualized as a kid himself, between 9 and 10 years old, he was between 9 and 10 years old, right? When one of his cousins sexualized him, okay, that explains the whole situation. We don't care. See, that's how it's done. And so anything else you would have been talking about right there, it would have been over right there, buddy. As soon as they found out somebody sexualized me when I was a kid, they gonna sympathize with that. What you did was demonize me through and through, like I'm a little demon seed or something. That's what a Bill Cosby nigga would do, okay? And I had innocence and everything, just like any other kid. You a dumb nigga demonizing people like they some character from a horror story through and through. You a dumb nigga. That's what they do. Okay? Now, for me, I'ma see, oh man, you lost your innocence to your older cousin? Okay, well, that explains the whole situation. That explains, and listen, that gives the definition. That gives the reason and the explanation for everything else we heard right there. You tell me that his older cousin had sex with him, and we don't consider that for why he was the way he was. Of course, we gonna consider that. That's the whole reason. That's what I'm saying. And so that's all I have to explain. I don't have to explain that, but I just want you to know. You're a sucker. You're a Freemason sucker, Bill Cosby kid. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's all you are to me. You thought you knew what you knew. And how you gonna know somebody else's family? That's what I'm tripping off of. How you gonna know? How you gonna just be arrogant enough not to talk to me and not to get the right answers out of me? Because you a dumb nigga. That's why. Okay, that's why. Okay, and I don't care if people don't like my language. I don't care. They're niggas for like, and that's what their grandmother would talk to them. That's what the old school would say. Those who are even better than them, which is their grandparents and mothers, is gonna call them niggas. Go talk to real black people. What you think they gonna call these people right here? Niggas. That's what they gonna call them. And listen, we ain't never got along with niggas. And yet, if you a real nigga, keep it real with yourself. You ain't never got along with no niggas. Nope. Them been the main ones you ain't like. And I'm talking about certified gangsters and everything. Because see, what people think, even in the American community, is that real niggas will get along with niggas. No, they won't. Not all of them. No, they won't. No, they won't. We never did. Cause they mind is not screwed on right. And the worst part is they think they 100. They think they killers and they not. A white boy will think these people killers. Why? Because they black. That's it. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. And they wannabes. You know, so how we know? Because you don't got the full goods when we go to war. When we go to war, you fold, right? Okay, so you never was like built like me. No, you would. No, you wasn't. So that's why I'm saying, if for me as a black person, I would have went to both sides and I would have figured it out. I would have went to both sides and I would have figured this situation out. And then I would have moved forward after I heard both sides. You got so anxious and you know, and so it's just being niggas, wanting to be in people's business that you didn't take the proper procedure. See, a nigga ain't gonna take no proper procedure. Once you hear this, you gonna run as a nigga because you're so excited about sipping tea and being somebody else's business. Oh, that's what did it. Think about it. Okay, if you really don't, I mean, you know, if you don't really care, you know, which you really don't, you know, you're going to take we'll, just like the police, we'll look into it, okay? And you're going to take your time, right? A nigga is running at the speed of light because that's what niggas going to do. You see what I'm saying? That's what, and if you don't add this element into the situation and the equation, listen, you ain't going to never figure it out. It was niggas. Once a black person realized, oh, niggas was in this, oh, okay, this is why this is the way it is. Because they done seen him anyway. They done seen what he do and don't do anyway. Only thing gonna keep this going is niggas. That's all. Not good black people. Niggas is gonna keep this going. Because it's interesting to you. You ain't got nothing to do. You pathetic. You ain't got nothing else to do with your life. You ain't got no other focus in your life. That's how you know ain't nothing but niggas. And that's that's exactly how we look at it. And we real niggas will take they life, and that's what I'm saying. And so see, in the black community, you don't know the difference between white people don't niggas and real niggas, and they'll always think they like us, but they the ones to counterfeit, because when it comes down to taking somebody's life, they not about that, you know, and that's that. So what is the insinuation? That they real, like they want beef, they want smoke, but they don't. You see what I'm saying? They don't really want smoke. But that's kind of the insinuation, right? It ain't no game. It ain't no, because see, you already know, listen, man, you already know you can't beat me, right? You already know, you listen, you won't fight me straightforward. You won't challenge me. So how is it a fight, but we know you really won't challenge? And black people, in our category, that's not a fight, buddy. That's not a fight. See, they'll tell you, well, this is how we do it. No, that's not how you do it. You a coward. And you could not, how we know? You couldn't be in any other format of fighting me besides this. So you couldn't fight me any other kind of way. I fight you on your level. I've showed you married children. I fight you in many different ways. I carry weapons. I fight you in many different ways. Okay, but you can only fight one way. Now imagine that. With all that's been done, you know, that's a coward. We know that. They'll tell you, oh, this is the way we do it. Listen, I'm smart enough to know that's the only way. I sized you up and I know you wouldn't do nothing any other way. Now, let's be real. Would they do anything any other way if they had to? No. I would, and you know that. You know I would do something a different way. You know I would do something a different way if I had to. Would they? That's the question. You know they wouldn't. That's a yes or no question. Would they defend themselves or fight any other way? Yes or no? Okay, so then how you that's the only way they gonna fight. Because they cowards. We don't acknowledge that as fighters like us, and that's the insinuation. They like us and they fight like us, and they don't. No, man, no. Listen, man, we know you act like everybody holding you back, and that's foolishness too, man. I'm not holding you back, and that's all you need to be concerned about. I'm not holding you back. So you can Jedi mind trick and act like, well, they holding us back. I'm not holding you back. So I don't care. You listen to them. Okay, I'm not holding you back, and I ain't never been holding you back, and my language ain't never held you back. I ain't never talked in a way where I ask for mercy or I ask you to chill. I ain't never do that. So it's an insinuation is that these people are holding you back and all of this stuff and all of that. You a grown man or grown woman. You can do what you want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody holding me back from doing what I want to do. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. So, coward moves in all different ways. Like, oh, people holding us back. Man, listen, like as if you a threat, like you a problem for me. Man, you can't be serious, bro. You can't be serious. I'm over here armed and everything, man. Ain't no problem. Listen, man. Listen. We know the difference between real niggas and fake niggas. You understand me? And what you are is a person that's caught up in these white boy clubs and these fraternities, or you with a whole bunch of dumb 5%ers. You could be with them dumb niggas too. You with some of these 5%ers and these black Hebrews and all these other people that ain't and they all slaves. And how we know? Because they don't rise to the occasion and do nothing. A slave ain't gonna never do that. You see me rise to the occasion like I'm Pac. I rise to the occasion in every situation. You can't find them rising to the occasion in no situation. You all slaves to me, buddy. Cause listen, I challenge everybody, white man, and you listen, as long as you a dumb nigga and you ain't never challenged no white man, we ain't trying to hear it. You scared of the white man. Yeah, meet a nigga that ain't. I'm a nigga that beat him. I beat the white man. He married children. I beat him in his own value system. Show me one of your leaders and show me black people that beat the white man in his own value system. Huh? Show me a black man that beat the white racist man in his own value system. What he values. Oh, he know he racist. He knows he's racist. So if you go and tell him he's racist, he knows that. He knows he's racist. Hello? Hola. 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 He know he racist. He know he racist. Okay, so then you ain't beat him by talking about he harping on the fact that he's racist. And what he been doing is a little playing of racism. The only way you beat him is if you change some rights, and some people did that, but not most of these pro-black people. They ain't do nothing. You got Malcolm X to change things, MLK to change how these civil rights, these situations with white people. But half of y'all are just talk about the things that the white man know he is. He know he racist. So you ain't beating him by telling him he's racist. You're not beating him by telling him he's racist. He knows that. He knows he's racist. So he gonna say, yeah, I am a bit of a racist, aren't I? yeah, I'm proud of it too. Looking at this country, funky as it is, I'm glad I'm racist. I mean, look at being racist these days. I mean, it's a whole different ball game when you're killing yourselves, ratchet, all this stuff that's going on. I mean, racism now and racism then is two different things, ain't it? Yeah. You got to even look at racism as different now as opposed to back then. Well, I mean, human nature could hate you for a lot of reasons, for black people for a lot of reasons. All the killing, all the gang banging, all the stuff you're doing, all the contradictions. You don't think somebody could be racist against black people? You don't want to accept it. You listen, in human nature, that's what we talk about. The key part, human nature, not perfect nature, not being a perfect person. Human nature that's flawed and everything like that, just like you flawed, could be racist against you based on the low quality black people that's in our community right now. All they gotta do is look at all this ratchetness and foolishness that you talking about, that you talking about it too. Now imagine a racist white man look at it. Oh, he don't supposed to be racist. See, I accept the real world on the real world terms. That's what you got a problem with. That's what your hang up is. You don't put everything in the real world perspective with human flaws and human imperfections. You paint these perfect pictures, and that's the difference between you and I. I don't paint no perfect pictures, but yet you say you keeping it 100. You ain't keeping it 100, because look, I can show you how some of these racist people can hate black people through and through right now. Living off the system, roaches, getting, you know what I'm saying? Got 2, 3, having kids just to live off the system. Some women setting dudes up just to live off the system. Having sex with dudes just to live off the system. Just to get money for them kids. Oh, women ain't doing it? They've been doing it for decades. They've been having sex, listen, they've been having kids to live off the system. That's worse than living off the system. What's worse than living off the system? Having kids to live off the system. Oh, women didn't do that? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They knew they was gonna get a baby playing around this dude. Some of them get on top and come on now, be 100. A woman get on top and know you about to come. What's she gonna do? Drop down the hammer. And listen, that's a kid right there, buddy. Hey, real men already know what I said. You know the language already, right? She get on top and drop down the hammer, it's over. Wait, hold up. You tell her to wait, she up. She on top of you. She riding you like a stallion. You feel she already know you about to come. Wait, when you say, too late, bro. She on top, how you gonna move? The only way she gonna move, you throw her off. You throw her off of you. Then she gonna think you crazy. That's the only way. Other than that, you gonna lay right there and bust a nut right there. She gonna say, oh, you say, hey, wait, whoa. She speed up on you. Boom, boom, boom. Man, she got all that nut, buddy. Boom. She got all that. She done milked that. She done milked that penis, buddy. It's over. That's a kid. Oh, you telling me women ain't get on top and do that? Of course, that's the only position where she has complete control. She can do everything, literally, and that includes getting pregnant. Oh, she can get pregnant on top. Any food know that. And don't let her have a little weight on her, and she on top of you. You ain't getting out of that situation, buddy. And she dropping on you, and then don't let her do something spontaneous and just get that nut out of you like that. It's over with, buddy. It's over with. And she gonna have a baby and go down there to welfare and get money off a baby. And have you, and check this part, have you locked down for child support. Ding, 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 yeah. Put you on child support, got food stamps coming in, done set up a whole enterprise. Buddy. Set up a whole enterprise off of you. Got food stamps, got the child support coming in from about 2-3 different dudes. Got the child support coming in. You telling me she using that on all the kids? No, she gonna budget that. She gonna budget what she do for the kids, and she gonna have that lump sum. Am I right or wrong? She gonna have the lump sum. See what a dumb dude don't know. She gonna have the lump sum, and she gonna budget what she do for the kids. Yeah. You thought she was spending it all on the kids? No, she not. She gonna buy them some little T-shirts. Listen, she gonna buy them a favorite T-shirt, and that's gonna. They gonna have 3 favorite T-shirts. Kids, just, I don't like this T-shirt. That's all she gotta do for the kid, buddy. Boom. Buy them food that kids like. That's fun. Little cheap, little dumb food, SpaghettiOs and all. Oh, spaghetti. Boom. She can get 5 or 8 of them for like $5. All she gotta do is get cheap clothes and cheap food, and the kid's satisfied. Until Christmas. Christmas, she spend a little money, and then the rest of the year, listen, she just buy little stupid clothes kids love. It ain't gotta be nothing expensive. So then she gonna keep the lump sum for herself, whatever she wanna do. Cigarettes, alcohol, whatever. All she gotta do, her only thing she gotta do is deal with the kids and maintain the kids. That's all. That's her only job. That's the only catch to the situation. She got to maintain these kids and everything. That's the only thing. And then a woman gonna get kind of attached to the kids anyway. So then, boom, she got it made. A woman gotta go get attached to the kids, love the kid, still taking that lump sum, even though she love the kid. She barely buying good clothes for him. Look at it for what it is. All these women in the neighborhood, why their kids look like that? Because they taking the lump sum, bruh. They taking the lump sum and giving their kids little cheap, little dumb clothes that they like. Oh, they'll do that. Little dumb, they looking for the little clothes you like. And then, because then you ain't, that's all a kid gonna be thinking about my favorite shirt, my favorite, think about it. That's all they gonna be thinking about. That's all they gonna be thinking about. So that's how the hustle is. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for white people to hate and be racist towards you now. That's what it is. It's easy for them to be. It's easy for them to be. It's easy. It's real. It's a lot of reasons, including the hypocrisy of killing each other, then going out here talking about racism and all of that. So it's legitimate reasons. See, you never give unreasonable people ammunition. That's one of my quotes. You never give unreasonable people ammunition to hate you. They got reason to hate you now. They got unreasonable, they got ammunition, and they're unreasonable people. Look, they gonna say, look how you killing each other. How dare you talk about racism? Look how you black people kill each other. What you gonna say? What can you say to that? Nothing. Ain't nothing you can say. What's gonna be your comeback for that? You killing black children. You killing black people. How dare you talk about mere racism, which you have no control over anyway? You can't tell me who to love and hate anyway. But how dare you talk about it when you killing each other? How dare you even rear your head talking about anything? You should be preoccupied with cleaning up your own community. Let alone coming out here talking about what we doing. It's backwards. It's butt backwards. It's butt backwards, buddy. It's butt backwards. That's how people look at it. You got your priorities out of whack. That's what a racist person say. Well, we think you got your priorities out of whack. I mean, look at all that killing you got over there. That's what a racist will say. He'll sit up and talk sophisticated now. He got a little ammunition. Yeah. Look at all that. Well, look at all that racist. I mean, look at all that killing you got going on over there. I mean, I think you should handle. Don't you think you should handle that instead of talking about how you're mishandled over here? You're talking about how you're mishandled over here, but look how much you mishandle each other. I mean, for crying out loud, you're killing each other and you're killing your children. I mean, we don't even kill your children. I mean, whether it's directly or indirectly, I mean, we're not in the game of killing black children, are we? I mean, no, we're not. No, we're not. We don't kill no black children. But you do. Now, how dare you come over here talking about some racism and you're presently killing black children presently? You're a joke. That's what he's gonna tell you. You're a joke, bro. I mean, y'all kill each other, and then you're in my face for what? What are you in my face for? What are you telling me? What? Oh, a pedophile. What's worse than a pedophile? Someone that kills black children. You're worse than a pedophile, buddy. You kill black children, for crying out loud. I mean, even if a child is sexualized, the child can live and overcome being sexualized. You can't overcome being killed with a bullet to the brain, buddy. A bullet to the brain, you can't overcome that. So in all actuality, someone that kills children is worse than a pedophile, buddy. But you won't hear that from your black culture. Because they love the shooters, the gang, the steppers. They call them the steppers these days, don't they? They call them the steppers. Oh, well, they love the steppers these days, don't they? Okay, so then, they're going to be kind of biased towards the steppers, even when the steppers wind up killing children. So they're not going to really say the truth because there's this infatuation with the steppers now, isn't it? Well, we base that on the music. You love the steppers, so you ain't going to really tell the steppers the truth or the stepper culture the truth, are you? So it's easy to say the pedophile is the worst thing. Oh, well, that's because you are biased towards the steppers. Well, if you wasn't biased towards the steppers, then you would clearly see that the steppers are the worst thing for children's safety, not the pedophile, buddy. You must be in the 70s, the 60s. In 2026, the worst thing for the children, the black children particularly, is these what you call steppers. That's the worst thing out there. Not the pedophile, buddy. Not the pedophile. Update yourself, buddy. Update yourself. The worst thing out there is the steppers. And that's what he gonna tell you. Just like that, and ain't nothing you can say. Ain't nothing you can say. Ain't nothing you can say. What you gonna say? Well, what? You can't say nothing, man. You can't. I'm telling you that as a black man. If a white man tell you are worse than pedophiles by killing black children, and you do it so frequently, you can't say, oh, well, we barely do it. No, you kill black children so much, you surpass anything pedophiles could be doing out here. Okay? But because you're biased towards the steppers and the gangbangers and the thugs, and you too close to admiring them type of people that kill people, you ain't gonna say the truth for what it is. Because it's too close to what you infatuated with. These young girls love steppers, right? Okay, so you ain't gonna tell the truth. You ain't even gonna form your brain as you're growing as a young woman. You ain't even gonna form your mind to realize the worst thing to children's safety is not no pedophile. The worst thing is people killing children. So you can't even talk about that with a straight face, because I'm gonna lead you right back to you killing children. Right back to it. See how it solves all the problems? It solves all the problems. It solves all the misperceptions and conceptions. You killing children, right? That's the worst thing out there, buddy. Because most of us have been sexualized anyway. In the black community, most of us have been sexualized as children. So did we survive? Yes, we did. Oprah Winfrey been sexualized. Vanessa Williams, the first black Miss America, she was sexualized. Tyler Perry was sexualized. Don Lemon was sexualized. 5 years old, anchorman Don Lemon was sexualized. You want to go on? All these men, all these dudes, Kanye West having sex with a six-year-old boy, but that's not a pedophile. But they having sex as kids. Okay, so most of us kind of went through some of that anyway. That part. Okay, so yeah, let's tell the truth. You know how I know most black women been molested? Because I dated a whole bunch of black women. All of them complain about one thing: somebody touching them in their own family. Boom. That's 7 out. Go ask these black women, have they been sexualized by people in their family? The average black woman has been sexualized by a black person in their family. And guess what? Some of them was men and women. Don't let the racist white man find that out. Oh, wow. So here we go. Oh, found out that half of these black women got sexualized by somebody in their own darn family. Well, yeah, they acting like the white man is some weirdo having sex with children, but then when we go to their black families, they having sex with each other too. I guess we all in the same bucket, ain't we? All in the same basket, ain't we? We in the same bucket, same lane, like you would say. You in the same lane, ain't we? We in the same lane, ain't we? When you having sex, when half of these women, black women, complaining about being sexualized, you in the same lane as with these pedophiles. You got a pedophile in each black family. Well, yes, you do. The average black family, we ain't talking about Bill Cosby family. The average black family got at least one pedophile in it. And you know how I know? Too many black women I've dated And then once we settle in and talk to her, she volunteer information, not that you even asked. That part. How many black men, how many black women you dated and they told you they were sexualized by somebody in their family? Somebody molested them in their family. How many times have that happened? I'm talking about dudes who have a lot of sex with a lot of women, right? A decent share of women, right? How many women have you dated? How many black women have you dated? And once y'all settle into pillow talking, y'all laying around chilling, talking. How many times they done told you? How many women done told you that somebody done sexualized them when they was a kid? Key part, kid. How many black women have you dated and they say they were sexualized? All of them have been, and if they 100 with themselves, they know right now why I'm saying this, you been sexualized too. Something happened to you too, didn't it? Yes, it did. So can you imagine us looking at that as the worst thing in the society when most of y'all black people been doing it to each other? You've been doing it to each other. That's the facts. It's the facts. Am I saying something wrong? It's the facts. But then everybody talking about they got tough skin. Listen, I can't tell. When you got tough skin, you can say anything you need to say. You can take anything people got to say about you. I took everything you got to say about me. I took it. So I'm tougher than you because you can't take nothing. You can't take nothing. Look at you. You can't take the truth. I can take the truth as long as it's the full truth, and you ain't switching narratives, and you ain't forming narratives. See, I'm so glad that understanding of that term has come out in the American community. Narratives. Where you're saying something to fit a certain narrative. You're saying something about somebody to fit a certain narrative. Then you find out that narrative is not true because other realities come into play. Other realities come into play to destroy the narrative that you're creating. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is show enough of another reality to contrast that narrative that they're painting of you, and it's over with for that narrative. That's all you got to do. One thing is for sure. All these black women talk about being sexualized by their own family. See, white boys don't know that. That's why, my thing is this. White people shouldn't be involved in black people issues. But black people is the one that brought white people into it. That's the truth. And you can talk about my brother like you insult my intelligence. Listen, bro, you your own man. Why you get into the situation? Okay, so then you how can you get respect as a grown man talking about what somebody else told you? I'm a grown man. I'm forming my own opinion of everything on my own. Ain't nobody gonna form my opinion of another man. I'm gonna form my own opinion. That's what we say in the South. I'm gonna form my own opinion, right? I'm not no ignorant nigga listening to somebody else. No, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna watch this dude. I'm okay. He cool. Okay. He had a woman. He done been dedicated to a woman. He been on his own. He ain't do nothing up here in New York. Okay, so how can you blame somebody else for what you doing today? You thought you was dealing with dummies, man. You can't blame nobody else for what you doing today, sucker. It's your fault. It's your fault. My brother down south. Where you at? Where you at? You the one causing problems up here. He ain't doing nothing. He way down south like a sucker supposed to be. That ain't got the balls to come to New York when he wanted to come to New York. I got the balls to come here and reign here and flex and regulate here. That's the difference. Oh, I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in East New York, just in case. Listen, I lived in East New York. I lived in Harlem. That's why New York can't even play with me, because when you hear the history, oh, he lived in East New York, or he lived in Harlem, or he lived in Staten Island. I was living in Staten Island. Over there by where Wu-Tang Clan is from. Park Hill. I was over there by Park Hill. Yeah, man. Come on, stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me, man. You can't even talk that New York language to me, man. I done lived through New York too much. Bed-Stuy, forgot about that. Bed-Stuy. I was at the Armory, right up there. Everybody in Brooklyn know what the Armory is. Right there on Atlantic Avenue. Okay, so I was right there on Fulton Street, no Street, everything. And Bed-Stuy ain't had no problem with me, did he? So that's why we don't pay no attention to Utica. What you call this, Utica? Man, come on, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. I lived in Bed-Stuy. If Bed-Stuy ain't had no problems, you think I care about Utica Avenue? Especially this whack neighborhood. See, only some southern country boy that I am no longer am would think this is a hardcore neighborhood. This ain't nothing. This neighborhood ain't nothing. It's not. This is a police neighborhood, Bill Cosby kid neighborhood, like I said. This is a Bill Cosby neighborhood. This is a Bill Cosby neighborhood. Bill Cosby over here somewhere, ain't he? Hey, Bill Cosby over here somewhere, ain't he? I lived in Bed-Stuy, buddy. You can't put that weak old pressure on me, that weak pressure you got. Take responsibility, man. You went and talked to somebody, and you think the credibility is that somebody from my family, which anybody these days know it ain't no credibility, how family fight against family. But you too stupid to see that you ain't got no credibility from just saying that somebody from his family. So what? They don't give it no credibility. You still back at the drawing board of having to prove everything. And you thought that gave you some credibility, didn't you? It don't. I don't care who it is. Well, you got some receipts. You ain't got no receipts, do you? Listen, buddy, you ain't got no receipts. You get no exchange. You get no exchange. You got no receipts. No exchange because no receipt. I'm saying like an Asian man. No exchange because no receipt. No exchange because no receipt. No exchange because no receipt. I know, I see, but no exchange, no receipt. I hear what you say. 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 But no receipt. No exchange of no receipt. I hear what you say, but no exchange of no receipt. I hear what you say. 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 This is how you win. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, buddy. Why you think I'd be so engaging if I didn't think I could win? Man, listen, I would have shut you down with me being a Christian. Well, it's under the blood of Jesus. I don't gotta explain nothing. Jesus done forgave me for my sins. I ain't gotta tell you nothing, buddy. Just try me, and God's gonna go to war with you just like He's going to war with you right now. Boom. I ain't have to tell you nothing. But because I'm innocent in the context of what you talk about, and that's all that matters. Listen, buddy, I'm gonna engage you. I'm gonna engage you and humor you. Well, I might not humor you, but I'm gonna humor myself. I'm gonna humor myself. Because we gonna realize, listen, half of these black women been molested here in America. Here in America, most of these black women been molested. Oh, and the further you go back in history, and with generations, it happened even more. Go ask your family them. Go ask your auntie what happened to her. Yes, me too. Yes, me too. Go ask your auntie next time she over there cooking biscuits. Yes, me too. Your auntie done got bust open when she was 9, 10 years old. And she gonna tell you. Which means now you have to look at everything differently. Now don't you? Found out your aunt got bust open? By her uncle. Her uncle done bust her open. Now you look at everything totally different in the black community. Well, dang, man, all this stuff happened. Kanye West talking about having sex with a 6-year-old boy. Well, yeah, no, listen. We know black people gonna demonize and banish. See, they good for this. When it don't work for them, they get rid of them, don't they? That's them out. But no, listen.
It ain't got to be somebody you trying to get rid of like Kanye West and Diddy. But even though we know you embraced Kanye West and Diddy, you know how we know you embraced them? You're going to try to banish them now from black people. See, that's what black people do. Once you get caught up in doing something, oh, that ain't our people no more. But he rich, so he had to be your people at one time. Well, how he get rich and he wasn't your people? Well, Kanye got rich off white people. Not in the beginning. Diddy got rich off white people. The truth is, you ain't never really seen Diddy around no white people. Not really. I mean, you know, Justin Bieber a little bit. I ain't saying that. You ain't never really seen Diddy around no white people, did you? But so how he rich? So how he rich? Because black people supported him. That's how he rich. That's common sense. Kanye West, how he rich? Because you supported him. But then when he fell off, or you found something questionable, oh, he weird. Well, you'll be surprised how many weird black people out there if you base it on that. If you base it on sexuality. R. Kelly was he was with Aaliyah when she was like 14, 15. Oh, black people knew about that. But R. Kelly like one of them tall dudes at the cookout eating chicken with his legs crossed. Got his leg kicked out and crossed eating chicken. Yeah, what's going on? Hey, R. Kelly like one of them guys, hey, them tall guys at the cookout, he think he the alpha male of the cookout. He the alpha male of the cookout, ain't he? He the alpha male maybe not everywhere else. Not in white America. But he the alpha male at the cookout. He the alpha male at the black cookout. He got his legs kicked out and crossed, eating chicken. That's R. Kelly personality. Can't you see R. Kelly? Couldn't you see R. Kelly with his legs crossed and kicked out, eating chicken at the cookout? All the women talking about, yeah, you want some more to eat? Yeah, you want some more to eat? I got some more macaroni in there. If I'm not mistaken, R. Kelly, they say R. Kelly would have sex with the mother and the daughter. He one of them. Listen, you gotta know black people to know. I'm gonna tell you something you don't know about black people. Black women will offer their family to you if you good at sex. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's slow down right there. If you a black man and you date older women like I do, you ain't never had one of them tell you, I will introduce you to my daughter. Oh, I did. I was with one woman, the last one I was with, right, down in Charlotte. When we first got together in 2011, this is a black woman now. The last black woman I was with down south where I just left from, that woman right there, right? Okay, when me and her first started having sex, because me and her used to work at the hospital, she gave me her number, so she approached me with her number. Okay, let's get that understood, how that whole situation started, because you might think I pursued her. I'm a man, right? That part. Okay, so also keep in mind, you didn't see her like 15 years ago when I met her. Well, we was together 15 years ago, this time 15 years ago in January, right? Okay, yeah, that part. Okay, so 15 years ago, she looked a little different, as you can imagine. Okay, yeah, especially when a woman get up in age, each decade looks different, right? Right. You might go through your 20s and 30s looking the same. Yeah, you might even get away with 40. You start getting 50, 60, 70. Every decade look different after that. You look different every decade. After about your 50s, you start looking different every single decade, buddy. I'm just saying, something the average woman. But anyway, that explains why she looks the way she do, just for stupid people. Okay, she just aged, and that's that. Okay, but you'll try to paint it like didn't I meet her before she was a senior citizen? I did, right? Okay then, so that's what's gonna be held as far in most people's judgment as far as, well, why you dated her, or what she was defined as you initially saw her or engaged her, right? You engaged her before she was a senior citizen. No, this is for men that date older women. You gotta put the record straight. Cause now these days, these older women, I'm talking about like the J-Lo generation. I'm talking about like the Mariah Carey generation. That part. Okay, they're not gonna look ugly anytime soon. You got a whole nother generation of mature looking women. You gonna let somebody tell you they're a senior citizen? Some of these Freemasons. You gonna let them tell you that them? No, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real, bro. But you know, I can't say everybody I've been with wasn't no senior citizen. But then if they was, these white women be doing the same. They these white boys when they senior citizens. Oh, you ain't never seen the pretty white woman with these old white men. They got a whole bunch of money. Oh well, he definitely is a senior citizen, isn't he? That's when he owned white America. All these white women, these young white women in their 20s and 30s, dating these old men, senior citizens. Oh, so what's the difference? Is she a pedophile? You little bastards? Now. That woman that I was dating, once she had sex with me, you know what she told me? I should introduce you to my daughter. That's the girl Crystal, which she was 19 when I met her. So she never was a child when I met her. Just in case you think you don't know how to go far back in time, you know you're retarded, you don't know how to go properly back in time. Okay, that girl Crystal, her daughter was from day one. She was an adult. She was 19. Oh well, I mean you can do the math if you want to. When I first met her, that was in 2011. Okay, just to make sure. Boom, there you go. Now you can go check her and see what age she is. Crystal is she is now. Okay, well you can put the math in right there. She was in 2011, just in case you don't believe me. Okay, so that was the first time I met her, which, like I said, she was 19. I remember, cause she got on the phone talking to me about her mother. Okay, so, which was stupid. I mean, now people are more open-minded to what I was already doing. I've been dating older women. I go with whoever loves me. Like Whitney Houston, I'm just saying, I go with whoever loves me. So she gave me her number or whatever like that, and basically that's how that happened, you know. But she offered me her daughter when her daughter was like 19. Now, if I was a predator, I would have said, oh, okay. I would have tried to get that. Because she already said something. Soon as she said, any predator, if you say, I might have to introduce you to my daughter, right? Like that, right? And she smiled and said, I might have to introduce you to my... Now times have changed. Now ain't nobody gonna say that. You see what I'm saying? But see, that's why we can go back in time with cultural changes back in the culture, and you can find people doing saying all kind of questionable stuff. That's the 7th hour. Go back in time in American culture, and you can find people in the culture, in the music, in the movies, all this stuff, in your personal life, all saying questionable stuff that's not right now. It's not good now. It's not acceptable now. But go back in time with the whole community, and you can see everybody saying questionable stuff and doing questionable stuff sexually. That's how it was. And see, that nobody want to admit that. That's how it was. Yes, it was. I know I'm right. I don't say nothing that's halfway. Unlike my enemies, I don't say nothing halfway. I know I'm right. Okay? That's one black woman that offered me her daughter. And this is what white folks don't know. You want to be in our business? Okay, I'm going to let you know. Sometimes, if the sex is so good, some of these mothers will offer you their daughter. Oh, you want another one? I got another one. Nikita, that girl up here who y'all utilized against me as a blind witch, or maybe she was part of Freemasons. I don't know. I don't care. Nikita offered me her mother. She said, I will let my mom try a little bit out, but nah, she might be funny or some way she put it. She said, I might have to let my mom try you out. How she put it, I might have to let my mom get a little bit. I will give my mom a little bit, but nah, she might be, She might be flipping out. Some way she put it like that. But she was like, but nah, she dismissed it. But she already said it. And I reminded her of it. Oh yeah, she remember when she said it. It was so good, she want to get her mama some. See, that, so I done been on both situations. I'm just telling you, listen, did I say anything to insinuate that? No. No, I didn't say nothing. So if you want to talk about sexuality, man, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you all kind of things you want to know, sucker. Okay? Like, you know, like I said, I've been on both sides of the coin where a mother offered me her daughter and the daughter offered me the mother. No, you ain't get that. That went over your head too quick, didn't it? Where the daughter offers me her mother. She volunteers, don't even know if the mom want to have sex with me. She volunteers her mother. Or the mother volunteers her daughter to me. Consider she's of age. She's 19. She was 19. She offered her daughter to me. If I was a predator, I could have got both of them situations. Soon as a daughter would have said, I can get with her mother. Remind you, I already date older women. So it ain't like it ain't up my alley. It's not like I ain't done it before. You know what I'm saying? And so she offered me her mother. I could have said, from that point, I could have got her to accept me having sex with her mother. She already asked me. She already said it. This is my wild and crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman offered me her mother. I would let my mom get a taste. I would let my mom test it out, get a taste of it. Right? Okay. So from that point, a predator would not a smart man, a devious man, a very sexual person. You know what I mean? Would say, oh, okay. He would have held that in thought. You know what he would have did? You know what a devious man would have did? Something that you see in a Lifetime channel. Soon as you told me your mom can get a taste of this, what you think he gonna do? Oh, he gonna start hanging with the family. He gonna say, oh, let's go over to your mom's house. Oh, okay. She love that. He gonna make her accept it. You know the first thing he gonna do? He gonna keep reinforcing that she said her mom should get a taste. He gonna keep putting that out there. So she's conditioned along the way to accept what he's about to do. Yeah, you always tell me about how my mom could got a taste or whatever. Well, that happened. Oh, it happened? How was it? Well, you said I could get a taste of your mom. Your mom might should get a taste of this. She ain't gonna say she was just playing. No, she wasn't. You know how I know she said she wasn't just playing? Listen, because I went back and asked her again. I actually did. I said, don't you remember when you told me? She was talking about, she just be like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, just trailed off, right? But she tried to play it off. She tried to bring somebody else into the, like, talk about my family. She ain't never met my family. She ain't never seen my family. But she tried to act like, oh, okay. She knows, she realized what she said. Then she went back on a whole nother day. On a whole nother day, she came back and tried to clean it up. Talking about, I could have had, yeah, maybe my mom could have sex with one of your uncles or something. Just random. It was all random. So that's how I know. It's just like, okay. But I'm just letting you know, man, how it really is. And God knows this is the truth. I don't make up lies on people. You know what I'm saying? But you know, so with that being said, man, I mean, I just know how people are with sexuality. Sexuality, here's the thing. If you are a person that's judging another person, you're going to wind up being a hypocrite, I guarantee you. With sex, it could be drugs. Drugs, you could be perfect. You ain't never done drugs in your life. You ain't never smoked weed. You ain't never smoked cigarettes. But sex, you're going to play yourself trying to judge somebody else. I guarantee you, buddy. You should have knew this. Think about it. Think about a whole community coming out against you talking about sex. They going to play themselves. Because you're going to find so much stuff on them, man. They're going to say, what were we thinking? What were we thinking? Yeah, you know what you was thinking? You know what you was not thinking? About yourself. About what you've been doing. You in your ghetto intoxication. Let's just say you was intoxicated. Right? In a ghetto fashion, right? In a funky ghetto fashion, you was intoxicated, wasn't you? In a funky ghetto fashion. Okay, look, man, listen. You didn't think about yourself and your community and all the sexual stuff they done and all the sexual stuff they could be doing. And you know God was going to expose it. You stupid. You know God was going to expose that. All these black women having sex with their own family. Listen. Even the women I just named, they both had some type of sexual interaction with their family. Well, the one that introduced me to her daughter, she said she had sex with her cousin, and it was nothing. She loved it. They did. She said they did everything right. She told me this was last year. Now, remind you, I've dated her for over 15 years, right? She never told me this until now. This whole time. And once again, I didn't say anything to invite this information. I didn't say anything for her to say this to me. But she told me she had sex with her cousin. And they did everything. Everything. That's what she told me. Okay? So, there you go. Now, the other girl that I dated that wanted to introduce me to her mother, her stepdad was playing with her in the bed, fondling her in the bed. This is what she told me. Okay? Those two women were interacting with their family. That's what I'm trying to show you. So, in some cases, like the first woman, all the sexual things they do, listen, it's not all sexual abuse. They enjoyed some of the things they do. Some of you black women, you had sex with your cousins and it wasn't sexual abuse. Oh, keep it 100. Oh, no, every sex act wasn't sexual abuse. You talk about the ones that you want everybody to know about, but you ain't talking about them sex acts that you and your cousin had that you enjoyed. Oh, you ain't talking about the sex acts you enjoyed with some of the cousins. Your favorite cousin particularly. Your favorite cousin. And sometimes it's the same sex. Boy or girl, your favorite cousins, I guarantee you, them the ones you had sex with. Them the ones you did something with. Oh yeah. You know how I know? Because I'm in the real world. That's how I know. Half of these women that had sex with their favorite cousins. Half of these black women that had sex with their favorite cousin. They ain't gonna tell you. You know what they gonna tell you about? What Uncle Joe did. They gonna tell you about what Uncle Joe did. Yeah, he did something too. They gonna tell you about what Uncle Joe did, but they ain't gonna tell you about their cousin. They ain't gonna tell you about their cousin Carl. No, they ain't gonna tell you about Carl. Cause her and Carl was cousins. They used to play basketball together. And they did all kind of stuff y'all don't know nothing about. Okay, yeah. She ain't gonna tell you about the sex acts she enjoyed. No, she gonna tell you the ones where she felt victimized her. So, when someone tells you about what they did in the black community, because that's where I come from, that's what I know. If she tell you what she did where somebody victimized her, you can just assume as an educated person on this subject that she did other things with other family members that she ain't telling you about that she enjoyed. She ain't gonna tell you that. She gonna tell you about the things. She gonna tell you about the things that victimized her. She ain't gonna tell you about because she gonna be too ashamed to tell you. This is why. She ain't gonna be ashamed to tell you what somebody else did to her, right? She gonna be ashamed to tell you that she enjoyed sex acts with her own family. She ain't gonna tell you that. She gonna tell you the part that make her look good. Like, oh yeah, my Uncle Joe sexualized me. She ain't guilty right there. But if I tell you about the sexual acts with my cousin that I actually enjoyed, then now I look like a weirdo. I look like whatever. So she ain't gonna tell you about the sex acts she enjoyed because she's ashamed that she enjoyed it. Oh, they ain't gonna tell you that. How you think I know? Because I know human nature. That's why. It ain't no devil, buddy. It's God's prophet. You ain't gonna be able. You think about talking about sex with a prophet. I'm gonna expose everything. Like these black women not talking about all the sex acts they enjoy with their cousins. or other family members. They ain't gonna tell you the ones they enjoyed. No, that's common sense. They gonna take that to the grave. Some people are going to take sex acts to the grave. You ain't gonna tell people what you did. No, you're not. You're gonna take it to the grave. And if you do tell them, you ain't gonna tell them all that you did. You ain't gonna tell them all that you did. No, you ain't. Even if you tell them, you ain't gonna tell them everything you did. No, you ain't. How you think I know? Because I'm a human. That's how I know. You've been talking to these dumb Americans. I'm smarter than they are. Half of you have sex acts that you've done and you ain't telling nobody. You're gonna take it to the grave. You ain't gonna never tell nobody. You're gonna die with it. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay for you. Everybody got secrets, right? Everybody do. The only problem is when you come out here like you don't got no secrets. That's the problem. When you come out here like half of these black women wasn't sexualized by their own family. That's the problem. When you painted this narrative to the white people like y'all don't be doing nothing. Well, that's what they would take from it. How you running around? They'll take from it like that ain't going on. Oh, it is going on. And I don't care what none of these rappers say, that we stand up about these children and all of this. Hey, that's what Jay-Z said. They stand up about these, Brooklyn stand up about these children. You know, we okay. But the bottom line is all these black people was having sex with their own family back in the day. These same people that stand up, most of them, you got to speak for yourself. Because most of these black people that you spoke for in Brooklyn, that you say we stand up about these children or woo woo woo. Okay, most of these same black people got sexual secrets with their own family. And ain't nothing you can do. Jay-Z can't do nothing about it. I know black people. And he can't change what they do by what he say. What he say don't change what you've done. Now does it? Yeah, he talking about we stand up for these children. Okay, that's all good and dandy. But that don't change the fact that insinuation can be that we ain't never done nothing. That's all I'm saying. The insinuation can't be we don't do nothing. We ain't never done nothing. Okay, because we all know these black people be having sexualized their own family. And here's the thing. The further you go back in history with black women and children, the more it happened. So you can't say it's the new generations. In fact, the new generations kind of don't probably do it as much as the older generations. The further you go back in generations of black people, you're going to hear them tell you all kind of stuff that happened. Go ask your aunties and them. Go ask your uncles and all of them. Go sit down and have some drinks and be 100. And ask them, did they go through anything as a child? No, I'm just going to be 100. No, I'm just asking you to be 100. Go ask them, did they have anything? Did they do anything? Have some drinks with them. Get a couple drinks in them. Get a couple drinks in them. And ask them, did they do anything sexually when they were children? I guarantee you they're going to tell you they did. Yep. It happens every time, buddy. So what would you conclude if you're like me and you've seen it happen over and over again, where women just talk to me? And it might be because I'm a prophet. They just get open and talk to me. And what would you do? What would you say if you was me? And you got all these stories yourself in your life. And you see that all these black women were sexualized by their own family. Even doing stuff with animals. My ex-wife, she said she used to let a dog lick her out. Lick her vagina. My first wife said she used to let a dog lick her vagina. Hey, what can I say, bro? What can I say, bro? Did we grow up together? No, we did not. This woman come from a whole different state. She ain't never come to North Carolina before she knew me. Okay, so she said she volunteered this information to me. She said she lifted up her dress and let a dog eat her out. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. I mean, for me, I've heard it all, man. That's basically, as you can see, man. You know, I've heard all kind of stuff, bro. So for me, I don't know, man. You know, I question people who is in these situations. You know, because a good judge has experience and understands life. Not niggas. running around, and these Bill Cosby kids that, you know, you ain't have a chance to act out sexually because your parents was borderline abusive. You got locked in rooms and stuff. Okay, so we ain't talking to suckers that got locked in rooms. You know the best test. We ain't talking to ugly people too who too ugly. Well, I ain't do nothing as a kid because kids didn't find you attractive. You was ugly, you ugly now. That's why you ain't. Listen. Why would I go to an ugly person and ask them what they did sexually as a child? Of course they ain't do nothing. You know you need to ask. Oh, go ask these beautiful women. Yeah. Go ask these beautiful women like Beyonce. Go ask these beautiful women like Lisa Bonet. Yeah, that part. Go ask these beautiful women like Stacey Dash. Go ask Stacey Dash. No, I'm just saying, go ask these beautiful women that everybody thought was attractive and cute when they was kids. Go ask them what happened to them when they was kids. I guarantee you. Don't ask no ugly woman. No. See, of course nobody ain't sexualized her. Don't ask these ugly dudes either. Go ask these pretty boys. Yeah, go ask these pretty boys who you can tell they was cute when they was kids. Like me. Go. Listen. Go ask these pretty boys. The little cute stand-up guys, the little kid be talking all the time like I was. Go ask them what happened to them when they was kids. Because I was talking like this. When I was a kid, I was talking. Pretty face, talking, animated, funny. I was like that as a kid. Okay, go ask these stand-up kids that was funny and pretty and everything, what happened with them when they was a kid. They gonna give you all kind of stories, all kind of stuff. You've been asking the wrong people, these big head white people. Man, listen, look at that guy. He looked like a rooster when he was a kid, didn't he? He looked like a rooster. Had a little hair on the top, like a little rooster. You know how a rooster got that little meat on top of his head? He had a little hair on the top like a rooster. He looked just like a rooster when he was a kid. Kids in his class told him he looked like a rooster. Man, how somebody, and then he becomes a cop. This rooster-looking bastard becomes a cop. And he's out here fighting what he called pedophile with no understanding of life in itself. He don't understand life in itself, do he? Man, listen, half of these cops and investigators don't understand life in itself. He was a rooster. Nobody wanted him. No kid wanted, nobody in his family wanted him. Of course he gonna be out here. These fat cops, of course you gonna be out here. Let's go ask these pretty women, these beautiful women, these divas, let's ask these real divas what they've been through when they was kids. I guarantee you they're gonna tell you, if they're especially from the black community, these divas, go ask them. Go ask them what happened to them. These voluptuous women, when you can tell they probably was voluptuous a little bit when they was kids. Go ask them what happened to them when they was kids. Oh, of course something happened. Of course something happened. That's why they more open-minded when they talk to me. When they hear me, if they hear anything about me, ain't no pretty women doing nothing about it. You know why? Because they already know what they did when they was kids. And guess what? Just like I said earlier, they've done stuff that wasn't them being victimized. They did stuff as kids that they enjoyed. When even other girls, these beautiful women, you don't think no girls wanted to sexualize them when they was kids? Oh, so no girls had a crush on them. No girls had a crush on them divas. You come on, stop playing. Lesbianism goes back all the way back to the old school, buddy. Yes, it does. These young girls, and then all she got to do is find a tom girl. That's gonna be the one that got the crush on her. That's gonna be the one that got the crush on her. The tom girl, her little tom girlfriend. She thinks she's so pretty, and she gonna tell her she's so pretty, and she gonna make a move on her, and she gonna just let her do what she wanna do. That's how a pretty girl gonna do it. Oh, just do what you do it. She gonna treat her like a little animal. Come over here. Come and do this. Especially these days. You telling me these pretty girls that got these little tomboy friends, you think that girl ain't, if you see a pretty girl with a tomboy, I guarantee you she eating her out. The tomboy's eating her out. That's common sense, bruh. The tom girl looking boy, the tomboy looking girl, the tomboy looking girl, right? She around this extremely beautiful woman, girl. You think she ain't doing nothing? Of course, it's an infatuation. That's what it is. You thought they was hanging out and they was friends. They mom's so stupid. They thought they was just friends and best of friends. Man, they doing everything. They doing, especially these days, they doing everything, man. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. That's why I could be the perfect parent, because I ain't putting nothing. Listen, I know girls can be lesbians and y'all talking about they friends. Y'all talking about they friends. They can go, and with girls, they can go sleep in the room. Ain't nobody gonna come in there. Think about it. Ain't nobody gonna come in there. They can be doing whatever they want to do. And all people gonna think about is this two little girl. And even if they do something, guess what? Some black people gonna think that's kind of normal. Oh, they wouldn't? No, I'm talking about besides, no, let's don't consider how much of the gay movement going on, lesbian movement. Let's don't even consider that. It's some people that still gonna think two girls experimenting in the bed is perfectly normal. Even if they halfway caught them, they gonna think that, oh, that's perfectly normal. Man, stop playing. See me, that's why I'm trying to show you. Y'all can't have these real conversations. I don't listen. One thing about me, I don't think nothing about no children sexually. I don't. You ain't gonna ever get that out of me. That's not in my DNA, buddy. But have we all done stuff as kids? Yes, we have. Yes, we all have. So, but if you a child yourself, how you a pedophile if you with other children? How? How are you a child? How are you a child molester and you was a child yourself? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How is it such thing of a child molester? It's no such thing, buddy. You got two children, and some people in whatever case want to pick one to say it's a pedophile or a child. How? They both children. They both children. That's just like Kanye West. Kanye West was a child himself, right? When he sexualized his little 6-year-old cousin, right? So how can I call Kanye West a pedophile when he was a kid himself? He was a kid himself. So how's he? So I got to give it a different label. I got to give it a different definition. Okay? You the rooster. These white boys are roosters. And you grow up and think that, and because you had a little penis, nobody wanted you. Okay, you still got a little penis, and nobody still wants you. And so it's easy for you to have a misperception and come out here as a super cop with a little penis. And you're a super cop with a little penis. You come out here and you think you know what life consists of, and we hurt your feelings because you was never in the in crowd anyway, and you wasn't in the in crowd sexually. And so all you are is the same little bastardly little cock kid that you was when you was a child. And you on the outside while all of us did all kind of things when we was kids because we were cooler than you. And guess what? And our penises were bigger than yours. Our penises was bigger than yours. And so it's easy for a little cock white boy that look like a rooster to talk about what he didn't do when he was a kid because you didn't have no opportunity to do it, sucker. Now go talk to black people that got good looks and big penises. Even when they was kids, they had a big penis, right? Okay, go talk to them about what they did. We ain't talking to no little white boy cops that was a little rooster with a little cock. Yeah, no pun intended. You was a little cock with a little cock, right? Because another word for a chicken is a cock. You was a little cock with a little cock, right? Hey man, listen. How are we gonna listen to you about what people do sexually? That's why it's a whole different conversation when we talk about black sexuality and white sexuality. And a white boy can't come out here unless he got charges. If he want to talk about what we do as black people, a white boy, how he gonna know? With a little cock. You got a little cock and you out here talking about what black people do sexually. Man, you can't be serious, man. You can't be serious. Nobody wanted you then and nobody wants you now. And now you got to use Viagra to get that little cock up that you got. That's what makes it more pathetic. Now you got to use a pill to get that little cock up. We still wake up in the morning with hard-ons. A black man still wake up with erections like he's a teenager. I'm 44 years old and I still wake up with erections like a teenager. Yeah, that's been a long time since you woke up with erections, didn't you? Been a long time, hasn't it? When the last time he woke up with erections? Well, after a night of too much Viagra and alcohol. He woke up with a hard on after too much Viagra from the other night and the alcohol. You still buzzing and got a hangover. That's the only reason you got a little hard on. Looking like a pig in a blanket. Your penis looking like a pig in a blanket. Don't let them be circumcised, uncircumcised. It'll look like a little pig in a blanket, don't it? You the main one out here. The super cock with the pig in the blanket cock. Put it on the little cookie sheet. The pig in the blanket, pig in the blanket. He's already a pig. He's a cock. Pig in the blanket. I couldn't put that together better, could I? Pig with a pig in the blanket cock. Look at these cop pig cops with pig in the blanket cock. You got a pig in the blanket cock, don't you? You cock, you pig. You pig with a pig in the blanket cock. You probably gotta go home and wash out discharge in your uncircumcised penis. Yeah, you should have knew you don't let no. Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it because ain't no white man should come out here talking about what niggas do. Ain't no cracker should come out here talking about what no niggas do. And sexually, oh, it's a different ball game. We all know that. You got bat. You don't got no baseball bat. That's why you become a ball. You become a ball because you ain't got no baseball bat. You open up that booty like a ball, don't you? You open up that ball, don't you? You open up the ball, don't you, buddy? Well, I think some people that's gay, they know they ain't got no penis, they just open up the ball, don't they? Well, you think that you wasn't made to have sex with no man, no woman because you ain't got no penis. You just open up the ball, don't you? Well, he said, listen, he said, I ain't got no baseball bat, I'ma just open up the ball. I'ma just open up this ball. And just like when you open up a baseball, you ever did that and it's all that strings in it and all that stuff? You know something wrong about that, don't you? When you open up a baseball, you know something wrong about it, don't you? You know something, I don't think I'm supposed to do this. You open it up and then it's all kind of strings and everything in it. Well, there's gonna be strings in that ball too, ain't it? Brown strings coming out that ball. Doo-doo. It's gonna be, something gonna tell you something wrong with doo-doo coming out the ball, ain't it? Well, that's how you know something wrong, brother. Buddy, listen, we all make mistakes, but if you start playing around a ball and doo-doo come out of it, something ain't right. Something didn't go right. That's how you know you're off track. When you start tracking the doo-doo, you know you're off track, buddy. You start tracking the doo-doo, buddy. You know you're off track when you start tracking the doo-doo. Listen, I told you, man, listen. I have the potential to be like the real life Joker. You know, they should have gave the Joker to a black man. A black man got more charisma. A black man got way more charisma. On the average. We tell jokes, man, listen, I tell you joke. Hey, you know, I thought about this for a Batman movie. Joker should have made a scene where Joker jokes were so good, he made people kill themselves. His name is the Joker, right? Okay, so the Joker, I thought about this. I was like, I should get a patent on this, shouldn't I? I could sell that for like $1 million, right? That scene. I could sell a scene. No, I'm dead serious. Why can't I sell a scene for a movie? No, see, you ain't no hustler. You ain't no hustler. Why can't I sell a scene for a movie? Yeah, that's $1 million worth that scene. Where he tells a joke and the person just jumps out a window. That's hilarious. You tell a joke so good they jump out the window. That would have been hilarious as a joker. He tell this joke and it's so real and true and funny that the person just runs and gets up and jumps out the window. But I'm not a villain. You know what I'm saying? But I have the ability to be a hero and a villain. They should have gave the Joker to a black man at one point. I mean, switch it up a little bit. Switch it up a little bit. Ain't no way in the world these white boys gonna be coming out here talking about what a black man do in his bed sexually. Now think about that. I mean, and forming his opinion on it. That's what I'm talking about. His little rinky-dink little opinion on it. And I do mean little. His little opinion on it. His little pig in a blanket opinion. He's a pig with a pig in a blanket, ain't he? I put on the blanket, then I got 2 pigs in the blanket. A pig in the blanket with a pig in the blanket. You get it? 2 pigs in the blanket. It's 2 pigs in the blanket now. Let me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something, little buddy. Let me tell you something. A white man should have never been involved in a black man's sexual, specifically, bro, you played yourself. Because you know, it's like Mars and Venus. You know how they say Jupiter and Venus, you know what I'm talking about. Mars, men from Mars or something. Women from Venus, you know what I'm talking about. He's from Mars, he's from Venus. I'm from Mars. Sexually. You're in Venus, buddy. Well, we understand psychology. Well, you don't understand sexuality. That's the checkmate. And, the second checkmate is you don't understand black sexuality. Oh, you white and you understand black sexuality. That's 7 out. You black and you white and you understand black sexuality. Well, we understand the psychological aspect of it. Well, before the psychological aspect is the sexuality. In the case of a child, when there's less psychology. Listen, man. And how much of a role is sexuality going to play with psychology? When the psychology really of sexuality is libido and puberty. Actually, the psychology of sexuality is puberty. Oh, you don't get it. You see? Too stupid. Too stupid to be playing with a black man, buddy. Listen, the psychology of sexuality for a black child is puberty. That's the sexuality. Which means you're going to act out sexually with whoever is conveniently around you, which most likely means it's going to be your family. Well, why do you think people act out sexually with their family? Because that's the first person around when you got puberty. When you're sexually curious, that's gonna be the first person around. You can't go spend the night over nobody's house usually. You don't live on your own. So who's coming over your house that's around your age? Your own family. Your cousins. So why you think it's preference, it's out of convenience, dummy. You will act like this person preferred their family over everybody else. Stupid. When in actuality, a psychologist is going to tell you the person acted out sexually with those who were conveniently in their lives. That's common sense. It's not going to be somebody that, it's not even a matter of preference in any form or fashion. It's nothing about the child, in other words. You're just flattering the child. It's nothing about them. It's what it is the convenience of circumstances where they can act out sexually with someone conveniently in their lives as a child. That's all it is. While you're overanalyzing it like a moron, all it has to do is convenience of circumstances, dummy. That's common sense, which means it don't got nothing to do with how the child look. It don't got nothing to do with how the child wear their hair. Well, he had a rooster haircut. I liked it. He had a rooster haircut. That's what turned the child on. He had a rooster haircut. He had a big flat top like Kid and Play. He had a big flat top like Kid from Kid and Play. It was the flat top that made him act out sexually. Back in the day, it was a big afro. He had a big fro. That's what made us act out sexually. But ironically, you know what? It might be a sense of truth to that, won't it? Little girls see their little cousin with a big old fro, the infatuation starts right then. One thing leads to another. From the infatuation of having a big fro, you the cousin with the big fro. There you go. Before you know. There you go, before you know. There you go, before you know. So you don't want to have this conversation. See, this is the real conversation. White boy. Where you don't even got no sexuality, white boy. Yeah, we know you ain't do nothing. Your mom was like mommy dearest. Hey, them white mamas be like mama dearest. That's real. Doing all the kind of weird stuff. Stand right here for 15 minutes. I'm locking the door and you're gonna stand. Oh, it ain't true? Man, white parents were doing all kind of little weird stuff to their kids. Stand right here for 15 minutes. Go ask white parents from the old school how they did all these bizarre, their parents had these almost experimental, bizarre punishments for their children. You're gonna sit right here and eat this food. Our parents wouldn't make us do that. We gonna get argued. They gonna argue at us. They gonna argue with us. They gonna yell at us, but they ain't gonna make us sit at the table. White people made their children sit at the table till they ate their food. You gonna sit right there. Oh, they ain't do that for real. Yes, they did. You gonna sit right there. Our parents would say, it's gonna eat you before you eat. It'll eat you before, if you don't eat it, it'll eat you. Something like that, right? You'll eat it before it eats you, or something. You know what I'm talking about. But then they just gonna give in. All right, throw it away, throw it away. Throw it away. If you still sitting there, black parents probably tried to do that. But then listen, you see your kid sitting there, just get up from there, boy. You making me sick sitting there. You see, you making me sick sitting there. Get up. That look on your face making me get up. You making me sick. Get up. Throw it away. Now I bet not see you eating none of that. What you just threw away, I bet not see you eating a whole bunch of it. You getting a whooping if I see you throw that away and then you go get a whole big plate of the same thing. That's how black parents talk to you. If I see you with a big plate of the same thing, I'm tearing you up. You just threw that away now. You see what it was, right? Okay. Now, if I see you get another big plate later on, you come back in here and get another that, and you got a big plate, I'm tearing you up, boy. That's what's gonna happen to you. I'm telling you right now. See, that's how we raise our children. Yes, sir. Because some kids crazy enough to do that for whatever reason. They ain't want it. Well, it wasn't hot, but now I like it. And kids might say, well, it wasn't hot before, but it tastes better hot. What you mean it wasn't hot? It was hot when I gave it to you. Now your mama sound like she from prison. What you mean it wasn't hot? It was hot when I gave it to you. Your mom sound like she been locked up in prison. What you talking about? I was hot when I gave it to you. What you talking about? It was hot when I gave it to you. She challenging a little kid like he in prison, like they in prison. That's how the kids get tough. Oh, black parents don't almost talk to you like you in prison. What you talking about? It wasn't hot. It was hot when I gave it to you. That's just how black mama talk to you. Them kids be getting strong and tough, buddy. That's why we listen. We can never, black and white can never be together because we come from two different worlds. This is no exception. A white boy gonna come over here and tell black people about what they do sexually. Now I just read everybody. You know I'm right. From all the stuff you did with your little cousins and for all the stuff you done, come on. I'm right. You ain't gonna even tell everybody everything you did, and that's okay. Because you are human. See, that's what the prophet separates from these cops. You're human. It's some stuff you did that you gotta forgive yourself. Especially if you was a child. Okay, you was a kid. Okay, that's what it is. Am I gonna die? Am I gonna be suicidal? No, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna chalk it off as me being a child, and that's the end. And no matter if you like it or the person that it happened with didn't like it, that's how it is. We ain't gonna sit up and die like white people over what we did as kids. I don't care. Listen, oh well. And don't start no revenge. I'm definitely not gonna care what happened to you. Oh, I did something to you. Oh, all this other stuff you did. Guess what? I'm glad it happened. Some people tell you that. I'm glad it happened to you. Oh, what you say happened to you? Oh, I'm glad it happened. You deserve it. Some people say, oh, you deserve it. Well, look at all you did in the future. Look at all you did in the future. So in a funny way, it was like an omen, in an omen type of way. Maybe you was gonna do this anyway, and you deserved that in the past. Maybe you deserved that in the past for what you was gonna do in the future. Back to the future kind of stuff, like a back in the future type of thing. You know what I mean? Like a back in the future type of situation. Ain't no way we gonna care about what somebody talk about, and then they do all kind of other crazy malicious stuff against us. And you think I'm gonna care? Nope, not gonna care. Well, might have been a chance for that, maybe before you did all this other stuff, but we don't care. We don't care what happened. That's what most people gonna say. Well, if it was true, we don't care. Well, look at all the stuff that happened. Well, we don't care now. We don't care today, and that's all that matters. We don't care today. Based on all that has happened, we don't care today. But I tell you, white boys, something. You shouldn't have, listen, you shouldn't have came over here playing. You shouldn't have came over here playing with somebody, and you white boy. Say it like you a dish in a Chinese shop. That's white boy. You white boy. Say it like you a Chinese dish at a Chinese buffet. That's white boy right there. That's white boy. You white boy, man. You a dish at a Chinese buffet, ain't you? You a white boy. You shouldn't have came over here playing with a man that's black and your penis is like 1/4 of mine. That's the girth and the length. Your penis is like at least 1/3 of mine. And how you gonna tell me what you do sexually in your bedroom? I mean, what I do sexually in my bedroom. How you gonna tell me what I do? Meaning you do two different things. 1/3. You do 1/3 of what I do. At face value, you already do 1/3 of what I do. You do 1/3 of what I do. You do 1/3 of what I do, don't you? So with that, come on, man, come on. That does matter. You do 1/3 of what I do, but you gonna tell me what I'm doing. How would you know? You do 1/3 of what I do. 1/3. That's a fraction. 1/3. Oh, don't think all white people are smart too. Some of them dumb, real dumb, stupid, slow, low IQ. Oh yeah. Some people think all white people are smart. No, they're not. Some of them dumb. Some of them real stupid. 1/3. You do 1/3 of what I do, don't you? But yet you got your opinion on what I've done. Oh, well, what you thought? Psychology will cover it. Psychology will cover it, right? But not if you don't understand black psychology. Ooh, ouch. You understand white psychology, don't you? Do you understand black psychology? So they're not one and the same, are they? No, because you got to consider the culture. Because the culture forms the world views and what people do. We come up with all that booty shaking music. Okay, you don't think our kids are going to be more inclined sexually and want to do things sexually with all that booty shaking music and all our sexual music, even our R&B music, the sensual music we grow up on? You don't think our psychology is going to be different sexually? And you came from a bland Brady Bunch house. That's why you like you are. You came from a bland Brady Bunch house. What kind of music y'all listen to in y'all house? Well, we listen to this hippie type music from the 70s. I don't remember the artists. They sound traumatized, don't they? We ate ham and cheese sandwiches and drank milk with ham and cheese sandwiches. Y'all ain't had no burgers. You ain't had no country fried steak. You ain't had no chitlins. The truth is, man, listen, even when it comes down to psychology, you still can't even put your opinion on black psychology because you don't have black psychology. So how that don't apply sexually? You don't let these white boys come out here talking about what I do sexually. You can't be serious. You do 1/3. Let's start there. You do 1/3 of what I do sexually. Don't you? You do 1/3 of what I do sexually, don't you? About 1/3. Or you can go for about in the middle of 1/3 between 2/3, right about there in the middle. You do about between 1/3 and 2/3 right there. That's how much you do compared to me. 1/3 and a half. That's about right? Actually, that's about right. You do 1/3, and we're gonna put a fraction and decimals together. You do 1/3, you do 1/3 0.5. 1/3 0.5. Your sexual life is 1/3 0.5 to mine. 1/3 0.5. That don't even look right. Look at that. Look at the equation of it. 1/3. 1/3. 1/3.5. That don't even look right, do it? When he comparing himself to me, see, he'd be good if he didn't even do no comparison. He ain't do no comparison, there'll be no equation, would it? It wouldn't be no 1/3 0.5. Where'd that one come from? When he compare himself to me, that's what it is. That's what it comes in at. You would have been good on your own over there with the white girls that don't know no better. The white women don't know no better, don't they? Oh, well, now they know better because of, all the stuff on TV and everything. They can't help but know that you ain't really doing too much. Well, she knows she can get a lot further with me. No pun intended. You don't think these white women be kind of curious? Oh, they do. A little more curious. Some parts of their vagina have never even been touched. Ever. The only way it has is if she go get a dildo. She go get a dildo, right? Or a vibrator. That's the only way these days that they even get had. That's what they do. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's the only way they're getting half the feeling. More than 1/3 0.5. The only way they get more than 1/3 0.5 is if they're getting dildos and vibrators. And now she done fell in love with that, ain't she? You on the couch every night. She good with you being in the couch and in the warehouse. In the warehouse. Hey, he in the warehouse, ain't he? White boy go be in a warehouse somewhere, don't he? Well, I'm gonna be at the warehouse, baby. I'm gonna be at the warehouse to 10. She at home good. They give her plenty. They give her 3 hours to get off, don't they? Okay. She done fix herself some good wine, some steak. She got steak and potato and wine, coleslaw. She done put some coleslaw on the side. She done put a steak, coleslaw, and potato, wine, red wine, boom. She timing that thing. She timing it with her phone. Oh, I got about 3 more hours. She got off the phone with you quick. While she was on the phone with you, she was putting the steak down, wasn't she? She was putting the steak down while she was on the phone. Yeah, okay, baby. She on the phone. She in the freezer getting the steak out. Oh, yeah, back in the back getting the getting the steak. She in the back of the freezer getting the steak. Yeah. What you say? She done put the steak out. By the time she get off the phone with you, she done put the steak out, right? Cause you got no steak, do you? You ain't got no steak, do you? She had to go put a steak out. She put a steak out for her dildo. The steak is basically for the dildo. I'm telling you, the real world we live in. Listen, I had to be brutally honest, man, because see, if I don't talk a little bit, see, in my case, if I don't let you know where my head is at, you'll think you superior to me, won't you? But 1/3.5 of what I do. You 1/3.5 of what I do. And you know what? You can be all the white supremacist you want to be, and guess what? It's a part of your woman's vagina that she ain't gonna never be able to experience, and she ain't gonna never experience certain things. She ain't gonna never know what it's like for her walls to be penetrated like that with girth. She don't know nothing about girth. What's girth? Your woman ain't gonna never feel what I can make her feel. Listen, I ain't talking about having sex with her. She ain't gonna never feel the way how we could make her feel, how a black man could make her feel. You know that, don't you? Listen, ain't that a little bit? That might be the reason why you kind of bitter towards me, ain't it? Cause you know I'm more endowed than you. I can do more with your woman. That's the first thing you thinking. Well, he probably can do a little more. You see me in public. Oh, he probably could do a little more than I could. And your conscience gonna tell you I could do a little more. And see, once you in the endowed club, listen, I don't get intimidated by other people. Oh no, I know what I can do. Listen, women can barely take what I got. Why would I want anything more? So for corny Bill Cosby kids, they would try to compare us to other people. You know, they try to, the Bill Cosby kids, these the black kids, these the black people. They'll try to put taller guys around you to try to make you feel less confident or whatever, right? It don't work because when a normal black man that's endowed, he's comfortable with his level of endowment, isn't he? Yeah, I'm very comfortable. Which means because most women can't take my penis, I wouldn't even want a bigger cock, right? No, I probably wouldn't. Well, women are barely able to take this. So no matter what he's doing over there, this is what I got going over here. See how it is? That's why we stay in our lane. Black man got so much going on in his own lane. You see what I'm saying? We don't get in nobody else's lane. That's why you see with somebody else in somebody else's lane, probably something ain't right, man. Something ain't right, man. Something ain't right somewhere, man. Because guess what? Black man got so much going on. Why he gonna be in another man's lane? I got all this penis over here. Why I'm in another man's lane, man? I got it all going on over here. Why I'm over there? That's why you see me merge back over into my own lane, didn't you? Yeah, that part. That's what a black man gonna do. He gonna merge back over here. Then you gonna see him become and still be the black man that he's supposed to be. With these women, with one woman at that. They thought they beat me, didn't they? Look at me now. I got revenge. Oh, you talking about STD? Oh, y'all got COVID-19. That was our revenge. How many people died from it? How many people died from COVID? Over 1 million people died from COVID in America, didn't it? Over 1 million. You know that? Over 1 million people died from COVID. I think we got revenge for the STD you put in my body. Oh, you didn't look at it like that? That was God. God brought judgment on your community through COVID-19. Oh, you thought you were celebrating me having an STD? Well, I celebrated you having COVID-19 and 1 million people dying from COVID-19. Don't you think that's proper revenge? Oh, you didn't look at it that way because you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention, little buddy. Y'all not paying attention. Listen, man, listen. This is how it is in the real world, buddy. White boy came out here with that rooster haircut. Listen, white boy came out here like a rooster. Thought he was gonna play with me. How you feel now? How you feel now? When half these black women been sexualized by their own family. When there's a pedophile in most black family trees. Oh, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Go and listen. If you don't believe me, go ask the black women that you do know that's transparent enough to tell you the truth. Go ask them that anything in America, now from America, ask them that anything happened to them sexually when they was a kid. Ask them. I guarantee you, I would say 40 to 80% of them. 40, that's a good ratio. That's a good percentage. 40 to 80% of them been sexualized by their own family. 40 to 80% of your friends, of people you know, if they normal everyday people, they ain't weirdos, right? Okay. So they normal people, grew up normal in America, normal, that's the emphasis. 40 to 80% of them have been sexualized by somebody in their own family. I guarantee you that. Okay? That's the whole country. That's considering the whole country. So to me, the punchline is how black people gonna come out here with all the stuff they've been doing in their own, and all the stuff they've been through in their own family. Like something strange is going on, even though it wasn't in the context of whatever they was talking about. Listen, you acting like something strange going on, and we know that ain't true. That something shouldn't be thought about as strange to you when you've been sexualized as a child. It shouldn't be strange to you. Oh, well, you can demonize and somebody else and all the stuff you done and your family done. Come on, stop playing, bro. That's 7 hours. Listen, man, come on, listen, man. Let me tell you something, man. All you can do is pull wool over these white folks' eyes. I know what black people do. You know how? I done dated so many black women that told me something happened to them sexually when they was a kid from their own family. And guess what? Sometimes it wasn't cousins. Sometimes it was grown people. That's all I'm saying, little buddy. Oh, I done heard a story where a woman, she got pregnant by her uncle. The woman I told you that was one to introduce me to her daughter, she told me, I didn't even know this. Her son was a result of her uncle impregnating her. She fell on hard times and had to go back to, this is a black family. This ain't my family. This is another black family. This woman, young woman, fell on hard times and had to go live with her uncle and wind up pregnant. Stuff in a Lifetime movie, bruh. I just found this out. Bruh. That's one family. Remind you, the woman I was dating, she said she had sex with her cousins, right? And she enjoyed, they did everything. She didn't say nothing bad about it. I've been knew this. I've been knew that's how it was. People having sex with their own family, man, in the black community. She told me her cousin had a child by her uncle. Not only did he have sex with her, he impregnated her uncle impregnated her cousin. This is black people. Look normal, everything. By everybody's standard. This was a real dark-skinned woman too. She was a real dark-skinned chocolate woman. And she went to her she went to her uncle's house. I guess that's what it was. He was an uncle. He was somebody older in the family, and she fell on hard times and had to go live with him, and he impregnated her, and she got a child by that man. By somebody in her own family. I never seen this before. But this person was from Barbados. This shows you how far this goes. So you can take this theory outside of just African American. This woman was from Barbados. And listen, man, you listen. How you want to put it? how you want to put it? How you want to put this? When she ain't African American, but all this stuff happened. Her family ain't African American per se, but they African. You know. That's all I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? You listen, y'all want to have these real conversations, man. See, that's real life. That's what I'm saying. And am I saying anything wrong? Am I saying, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, who's fake? Who's fake? The people that's acting like nothing ain't never happened. That's who's fake. When you know you done got sexualized by your own family. Oh, maybe that's why you want revenge for what you went through, but you ain't have the courage to face the people in your own family that did it to you. But now you're trying to now you're trying to be a vigilante against pedophiles. But when you start first with avenging what you've been through, when you avenge what you've been through, oh, you ain't built like that, are you? Or you'll try to get revenge on some random person that you don't really know what happened, but you know what happened to you. You know what happened to you, but you don't know what I've done. Won't you? If you was real vigilante, won't you go avenge your situation? Why you avenge your situation? You know what happened to you, don't you? But you don't know what I did, do you? Come on, man. Listen, man. Let me tell you something. You should have knew not to play with no real black man with charisma like me. I'ma bury you. I'ma bury this whole country. Black women having sex with their own family, talking about acting like some strange, calling people a pedophile. A black person should never be able to use that word. You got pedophiles all in your family. At least one of them in there. And guess what? You might not know what happened. So we gotta assume even if you don't know, it still happened. Hey, how can you say it didn't happen? How you can say it didn't happen? Most of us black men that are very most players gonna tell you I dated a woman that most of these women I dated was sexualized by their own family. So then when you say it didn't happen to your family, what we gonna say is it probably did, you just didn't know about it. Because it's happening to all these other families, so in your family you just was on the outside. You just didn't know about it, sucker. Or maybe you did know about it. Maybe you're not being transparent as I am. Maybe you're not being as transparent as I am. Yeah. You got stuff you taking to the grave, but you talking about pedophiles. You can't be serious, man. Your whole family, you got pedophiles in your family, and your whole country is marrying children. 34 states of your country is marrying children, and at one point it was 45 states, almost the whole country, 5 states away from 5 for the whole country. That's a 7-hour. Your country is marrying children, for crying out loud. You shouldn't even listen. How you gonna bring yourself to talk about a pedophile in America is marrying children? That's what I'm saying. Russia doesn't marry children. China does not marry children. China. China don't marry no children, bro. But you do as Americans. No, we don't. You do. You corny. You marry children. Okay, you ain't gonna never outlive that. The Chinese find out, the Russians find out. I tell the Russians on social media. I let them know you're marrying children. It's public information. It's not spying. It's public information. It's public information. Okay? It's public information. Okay, so listen, man. Let me tell you something, buddy. While you in the psychological world, we in the real world, sucker. And guess what? The psychological world, let's tell these Freemasons and secret society people that the psychological world is never going to triumph over the real world. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, you little player hater. Your whole country is marrying children. Okay, New York had child marriage the whole time. The state of New York had it. You just got rid of it, buddy. You just got rid of it. You had 385,496 cases of child marriage, almost 500,000 cases, right here in the state of New York alone. You talking about New York talking about pedophiles? Oh, they thought it was a down south thing. Well, why you got 385,496 cases of child marriage right here in New York? You doing it up here too, sucker. Oh, you thought New York people was different? Well, apparently not. You got 385,496 cases of child marriage right here in the state of New York. In North Carolina, where you got your information from, they still marrying children in North Carolina and Charlotte. The whole state of North Carolina is marrying children. I know they ain't talking. I know North Carolina ain't talking. Y'all actively marrying children in the state of New York, in the state of North Carolina. You can't be serious. That's your condition. That's your condition. That's your condition. Can't be serious. Now imagine you beating me. Imagine that. Now any people that ain't non-retarded, do non-retarded people think they beat me? You're non-retarded, right? You're non-retarded. Okay, any non-retarded people think the psychological people beat me? Any non-retarded people think that? No non-retarded people. No non-retarded people think that. See, if you ain't retarded, you pre-retarded. You pre-retarded, right? You just stuck at pre-retarded. Well, you think psychology is gonna beat us? The whole world is in it, for crying out loud. I mean, we basically are in World War III. You still doing psychology stuff. You're pre-retarded, ain't you? You're pre-retarded. Right before retarded. You're pre-retarded, right? Or you're post-retarded. You post-retarded. After retarded, right? Well, nobody gets past retarded, do they? That's what makes you more retarded. You post-retarded, ain't you? Hey, man, we done with it, man. We done with it, man. Let that be a lesson to all y'all other suckers, man. Don't come out here in the field, in the jungle, talking about stuff you don't know, man. Stop defending stuff that you don't know nothing about, and stop talking about stuff you don't know nothing about, and stop acting like you know what you're talking about, and you don't know nothing about what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Don't come out here in the field no more, buddy. I'm built like this. We do this. We do this.